Yeah, during the last episode,
And that'll be a little bit
Octa didn't
easier
really
to
do a
kind of
lot.
blend
So.
in when we're kind of doing
Okay,
a
cool.
rough
I was
shade
gonna say,
of
I was gonna say, if you
I was
wanted
like,
to,
that place
maybe.
may or may not have been taken. That's
we're
what
not
I
really
was
trying to
implying.
do
I was like,
temperature
oh
at this
no.
And
No,
we're
no, no,
live.
no, no.
Just looking at my reference, right?
Oh, we
God,
we
you can't do this without
A
warning.
more of kind of a
You
fur
can't
shape
do this
to all
without
this.
warning, Jordan. Or,
Wait, we're
Rich.
doing
Start
it.
right down here
It's
in the chin
happening.
area.
No
It's
warning.
happening.
Don't let him
Go
screw
ahead,
with you.
get size
Everyone freaks out.
Go check.
that brush. And
I'm
Everyone
serious.
panic. No, I can see it. I can see it. Everybody panic.
drag down.
Everyone starts screaming at the top of your lungs.
It's just a lie. I know it's a lie. Don't screw with me, man.
I know, but it's just a falsity. Anyway,
It's just ruse. It's just ruse.
before anybody else gets here, do we actually want to do another
We're gonna wrap
introduction,
that
or
all
do we
the
just
way
want to get in the game? I'm kind of feeling just getting into the game because we didn't get to play for like 2 weeks.
Just squiggle it back and forth.
Yeah, just get in the
Oh my
game.
God.
Main thing you
I
want
was
to
gonna
do
say,
is kinda
if you
get a
want to,
nice
just
little
like hit
rounded
us
edge
with
in
the
back
recap there,
so
my dude. That's
drag it all
at the
the way
very
down.
least
Yeah.
what you can do.
So basically, what I usually do. All right.
Use your
So,
shift.
Last
kinda
session,
Smooth it out a little bit.
not
as you go
too
through.
much happened. You guys recovered a little bit from your battle, and upon
Like I said, we're starting
looking
top to bottom
at
here.
the corpse of Malice,
So
you discovered that he had
if you
some
want
sort
to,
of
add a little bit of detail
gemstone
to the top,
eye
just do the same thing up towards the top of the head.
that you guys had recovered. Zephyr
Zephyr
quickly pocketed it, and
focus too much on it now. We'll get
despite
back to
Aster's attempts to try to retrieve it, managed to play keep away long enough to
This is the most
get it
kinda
into the
rough
bag of holding.
area.
Aster attempted to take it from the bag, however, was thwarted
Next thing we want to
by
look at, right,
Estriel and her keen
is
eye.
our musculature for like our deltoids and for our pectoral muscles, like our chest.
The
So
day
we'll start with the
progressed, you
deltoids.
guys underwent
And,
some shopping, did
Get
a
a
few
bigger brush
errands.
size, so
That
it's
is,
about the size
however,
of that
where
deltoid.
we left off.
And just
And I would
starting
like to
from
know
the front,
from
if you
each
look
of
at that
you, we're going
reference,
to go down the line,
it's kinda
everybody's
just
going
that,
to get
you know,
an opportunity here. I would
triangle
like
kinda
to
shape.
know, as
just kind of get the front,
these 2 weeks
get the
pass for the
backside,
party,
and then just
what would everybody
pretend
like
almost
to
like
do?
it's the muscles,
and
right?
we will go ahead and start
just
with
have
Estriel.
everything meet to where you want it to be, right? So just drag it down towards that shape.
So I'm trying to find the list ahead. I was hoping to
Pretend like you're actually
get
putting
a
muscle on them.
sprinkles, but
So it has
Okay.
that natural kind of flow like that muscle does.
if that's not gonna happen,
And if you need to, like,
the
change
list I
something,
had
if you
was
need to
keep
bulk
an eye on
something up,
sprinkles,
that
help her
move tool
heal,
will
and
help your
accompany her
friend.
places.
You can get
2, have a
just increase your brush
conversation with
size,
Nakax that probably
you can
isn't going
pat
to
it
go
out,
well.
you can drag it down a
3,
little bit so
look
you have
for
a little bit
Octa,
more.
hoping she's
If you
okay.
use a smaller brush size,
4,
you can kind of catch
perhaps be
the
urged
tip
to
of where that
pick a
deltoid's
side
supposed
in
to
the
be and
Great
pull it
Eye
down a
Thief
little bit.
debacle, trademark. And 5, library.
And if you think you have too much of a slope
Okay.
here, and you want to make it a little bit
So
more
in
flat,
terms of the
you can kinda
conversation with
drag
Nakax,
down
we'll say you
the deltoid
tend
a
to
little bit so it
sprinkle as
doesn't look
best
like
you
it's
can.
running
Sprinkles
into
did have a few things that
the
she wants to
head so
take
much
care
of
of,
that
and
fur.
you do assist
and
her
then,
with it.
use your blur tool or speed tool,
Eventually, Sprinkles just asks that
Um,
you just
we've
leave
got
her
roughed
at the
out
docks near
deltoids there.
the altar to
So you can
Umberly,
get back into your clay build-up tool,
wanting to kind of take some time to go into meditation.
and we're gonna kind of look at how these pectoral muscles.
But she makes it sound a lot
It's kind
cooler
of
than
weird.
that.
It's
I'm
not
just trying to
very
go for sake of
not
brevity
that
here.
Yeti's
Uh,
but I'm gonna
but after
draw
that
real
is
quick
taken
just
care of, you
some
find
lines to
Nakax.
kind of outline how it looks in the art here. So if you
I would
start
say
in the
I don't
middle
know
here,
when this is gonna happen, but we'll
It'll be
just
during one of the days.
see it kinda
One of the
has
days
these
that you have free.
strips going up.
Yeah, it's basically every day I've left the
this.
tavern, and then every night I have come back. So,
Yeah.
so
one of
basically, this
those-
is me
so-
coming back.
You can see right beneath it.
At one of the nights, you see Nakax
see where
entering
that
back
ribcage
into
is
the
kinda
lying
supposed
stone.
to be, right? And then if you look along
Oh,
underneath those
hi.
pectoral muscles, you almost have like another
You're right.
set of
You've
muscles right
for
here.
a while.
So you can see I kind of outlined it, right? And
I
if
mean,
that helps
up
you to
away.
do this, feel free to do it too.
I
I'd
take a
actually
sheet of
recommend if
paper
you're ever doing
and
kinda like
I write
muscle,
down on it.
and you're not too worried about
Did you want to have a
like more skin
conversation?
muscle as opposed to like fur muscle.
I was hoping
The,
so.
the
If that's
alpha
alright.
for the hard square
If
instead of that
you're
circle
more comfortable with that.
sometimes works better. So I'm just gonna zoom in a little bit so it's a little bit easier to see.
You see Nakax's shoulders kind of
We're
slump,
just gonna
and
follow those shapes that I built.
a hand
out.
kind of go over his muzzle and
So
eyes.
always go
and
kind of with the grain.
then
Like, kinda
raises his
build the muscle
arm
how it's
toward the
supposed to be
stairs
built, right? So we're
to-
gonna
for you to lead
run
the way.
those strokes
I lead
up
the way.
along this shape.
All right, I'm assuming that you take me to either your room or, if you want to, through my room. Either way.
I'll go with mine. Why not?
All right. I'll go in along there and shut the door.
You can see
Alrighty.
it's building up there. We can go along the very bottom here to the next one.
So,
You can see it has like almost like a
all right, since
precipice on it where it starts a little bit
the
less
dragon
and then
left.
kind of increase it in the middle there, so it's got that bulge to it, right? So it looks
I just simply
a lot
write
more
down
natural.
no.
Like there's tension here, and then that center point is the bulge
Sorry.
muscle.
whole thing happened. Really, I am, but
So if you want it to blend in, obviously there's not this
trying
much
to
of a
find another
ripped kind
one
of
is
skin look to
going
it.
to be
Just,
such a great
gently
idea.
take your smooth tool and just run it over it.
That axe gives you a hurt but confused look.
Doesn't need to be perfect. We can go in and
I mean,
adjust stuff
that
after. But
Dragon was
kind of basic
hurting
shapes,
you,
right?
wasn't it? It was.
So I'm gonna draw while you
changing
guys are doing
you.
that the next little shape, right? So me looking at this. I
Sorry
kinda
to
see
say,
the
but
belly shape going on.
you know I'm with you.
Kinda very
You know I'm going to
distinctly.
support you, but I just want to make sure if this is
Try to think
something
of
that's
everything
going to be beneficial
as,
in the long run.
outlines and shapes, right? Break everything down to like very geometric shapes.
See Nakax kind of struggle
So
with that
I
answer for a
blocked out
second.
the
It
belly
takes him a
here,
while to write down
and
something.
that'll give us something to kind of base everything on, right?
Taking his time,
Hey,
you'll
Rapid
read.
King, how's it going? So we've got our belly
That's
shape
the
here.
thing. I'm not sure if it was hurting me.
I'm gonna do the same thing.
I'm
gonna
not
get a
sure
big,
if there was
big brush
anything
size for this,
wrong
right?
with what it was doing.
And I want to follow the grain.
The
You
only
can see
thing I
how
know
the,
is that
the,
now
the fur kind of runs down,
I
right?
feel empty.
So we'll start kind of up here, where I've got this brush just a little bit beneath that outline, because you can see it's kind of more normal skin looking, just directly beneath the pecs,
Make a deal with another dragon.
and start dragging it down.
Just
I'll
a
get bigger
quick
brush
note,
size here.
Rick. Whatever video you have going in the background, we can all hear on the stream.
Oh.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Okay, I just muted it.
Okay.
Sure about it. Anyway, what did you say, Luke?
I mean, powers or emotional? And you think finding another dragon will help you with that?
There's another kind of long pause as Nakax tries to find an answer, and then he just simply writes down on the paper, "It's the only thing I can think of."
If the leader of a magic college can't think of anything better either. Like, the only route to take. Unless you... different kind of magic? Maybe divine? Inclined?
There is that moment where it seems like it's a good idea, but then Nakax shakes his head. And he simply writes down two names. They are the names of Bahamut and Tiamat.
Dragon gods. Dear.
He then writes down his name, or at least the last name, the family name, Goburik, and it's right in between the two.
You're afraid to pick a side? You're caught between them somehow?
Under the side of Tiamat, I put down white. Under the side of Bahamut, I put down silver. And then make a Venn diagram between Bahamut and Tiamat with Goburik right in the center.
See. Listen, if you really think this is the best way to go about things, I'm not going to stop you, but And just for flavor's sake, since we are in a private room, my hood is down.
Okay.
Nagax slumps over and Ezreal, are you like sitting on a bed, or are you standing, or where would you want to be in this situation? It's in this scene.
I guess for now, just if they're both standing, if Nakax is standing, then she is. If he's sitting, then she's sitting right next to him.
Okay, yeah. So I assume that you and I are just sitting next to each other on the bed, which is probably the most comfortable.
Yeah,
So he just kind of slumps over, and his elbows at his knees, and his head's kind of hung down, and once again there's just that long pause, and he nods, and he'll look up to you, and he's going to try to actually very quickly peck you against the lips.
Oh. Israel would just kind of stare for a moment before giving him probably the biggest smile he's ever seen from her.
He like the moment that peck occurs, he hits it. There's only like 1 second before he's going toward the door.
Oh, wait! She's going to stand up and grab his hand.
I won't resist.
It's clear she doesn't know what exactly to say, but blushing, and she is smiling. And she just kind of pulls you into a hug. I just want to make sure you're right.
Nakax will return the hug and kind of lean into her for a little bit before letting go, and once again nodding, and he'll make his exit.
Alrighty. So that happened.
Why must I be a teenager in love?
Okay. Ezreal, is there anything else you wanted to have accomplished over the course of these 2 weeks?
Oh, my personal checklist has been filled as a player, but let's see. I do want to go look for Octa as well. Make sure she's alright.
Right. Go ahead and then we'll move on. We'll go ahead and go to Zephyr. What do you want to get accomplished during these 2 weeks?
Basically, keep away from Aster.
Okay.
Go get myself the bag of holding. Another one.
Okay. Alright, yeah, easy enough.
Let's see, I wanted to go and find another temple to try to get re-examined of that eye.
Okay.
By myself with nobody around.
Are you searching for a temple to your deity, or are you just looking for a temple, period?
I would say with my deity.
Your deity. Okay, go ahead and make an investigation check. Hang on 1 second.
Uh-oh. The DM has died. Long live the DM.
Oh, rip.
Okay, sorry about that, folks. So yeah. So Zephyr, go ahead and make an investigation check.
11.
11. Okay. So, taking some time and looking about the city, you're not quite able to find any set temple per se. However, you do find a few clerics who worship the same deity as you. They will ask to see the eye.
I give it to him without no issue.
Okay. And what specifically are you asking?
One is see if they could tell me anything about it, and I would tell them about how Aster is very obsessed with it,
All right.
and like I could pretty much put it inside a bag, and he's just trying to dive in and get it. Find out
So
if they
they'll
know
take
anything about it.
Yeah.
I would,
So they'll take some time
if
with
it took a day or whatever, I would just leave it with them.
Okay.
I wouldn't go too far.
If you want a quick answer, they basically will do the same thing that the other people in the Temple of Solune did, which is cast Detect Evil and Good.
Nah, I'd want a more.
However, if you want an elongated answer,
Yeah.
okay. So we'll say you say over the course of the 2 weeks, it takes you about 6 days to find anybody, at least within your religion, who has enough knowledge to really be able to study this item.
Okay.
So is there anything else you'd like to do over the next 8 days?
Because I'm assuming I would just leave it with them and just check back daily or something.
Okay.
And I would say, how hard would it be for me to go find somebody to teach me how to use poisons? Like a
teach
poisoner
you
kit.
How to use a poisoner's kit?
Yep.
Being one of the more shady individuals of the party, it doesn't take you that long.
Okay.
You can quickly kind of work through a network of people, and eventually one of them will come up stating that they are able to teach you at least some of the basic point of how to become a poisoner. It does take time to learn.
Not a problem.
But they can start you on the path.
Okay, and purchase a poisoner's kit, whatever your cost is.
It's same as in the book.
Okay. So that would be about what I would be doing over 2 weeks.
Alrighty. We'll go to Aster. What would you like to do?
For the main 2 weeks, I guess I'll try and stalk our pal Zephyr over there.
Alrighty. So Zephyr made it clear that he was trying to stay alone. So Zephyr, I would like you to go ahead and make a stealth check. And then Aster, I would like you to make a perception check, and with advantage, because I'm assuming you're using ravioli.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not very stealthy.
Okay, perception check, Guiones. Here we go. Where is it? Perception.
Mm-hmm.
So you and Ravioli working together start easily enough being able to track Zephyr as he kind of goes about his business. You notice that he tends to kind of work his way around the city from time to time, speaking with certain people. And at one point during that time, about 6 days into the first week, you would have tailed Zephyr to a group of people who he had talked to, and you would see him produce the eye from the bag and hand it over to them after a bit of conversation before departing and allowing them time with the item. For the remainder of the week, for the remainder of the 2 weeks, he just seems to be talking to certain people. He kind of dips away into alleys for a moment, and you try to follow him, but it seems whoever he went with was a bit better at making sure that they go unseen. But that's basically what Zephyr does.
Yeah, can I also follow the people he gave the eye to?
Yeah, go ahead and make a... are you trying to do this quietly, or are you just following them?
I'm pretty much using Ravioli to, like, follow them, but I'll stay within, like, the 100 feet range.
Alright, Go ahead and make a perception check for Ravioli.
Nope.
Nope. Well, let's take a look. So this is less like they're trying to be sneaky and quiet about it, and more just trying to keep track of them in a large crowd. Okay. So Ravioli kind of tries to tail them for a while, and he does. For about a good hour and a half, he's able to kind of follow them about. And they don't really move too far from their present location, especially with this object. However, at one point, they do seem to say a few words to each other, and as they get up, they make their way into the crowd, and at that point is when Ravioli loses them.
Okay. I guess I'll try and continue searching.
And just looking for the two individuals?
Yep.
Okay. Go ahead and make a, for the next day, go ahead and make a perception check with Ravioli. And are you you're just scanning the streets, or are you just sending Ravioli?
Scanning the streets as well.
Okay. So that would be at advantage. So with a natural 20, Zephyr, at the final day of the week, you go to meet in with the people that you had spoken to.
Okay.
And Aster, you catch with you catch with Ravioli that he lets you know that he sees Zephyr going towards or meeting with the same people that he had trailed the day before. So as you approach Zephyr, they inform you that they've done a few tests with the eye and tried their best to identify any kind of significant magic to it or any sort of religious symbology about it. However, their research, at least at this point, has turned up nothing.
Okay, I would ask him what it would take to get it off from this plane.
They would inform you that such preparations could be made. However, they are rather expensive. And they would also inform you that if you feel that this is this strongly, you should speak with the guard presently and have them take care of it if you feel the item is that dangerous.
To speak to the guard?
Basically, they are telling you that if you feel like this item is that dangerous, turn it over to the guard, and then the guard can give it to the proper people who can handle it.
Oh yeah, I forgot to use my lucky dice for this day. Let me write that down.
That is the advice that they give to you. If you press this level of urgency, then then that's what the advice they would give you.
Okay, then I would just fly out over the ocean and just stay up there flying around for a while.
Alrighty. Aster, are you sending Ravioli to follow him?
Yep, and I'm gonna use the invisibility spell.
Okay. So Ravioli kind of tucks for a second and begins to descend out of the sky as his wings tuck onto his body. Ravioli's little eyes flash for a moment and his body goes completely invisible as he goes to trail Zephyr. How long are you staying up there, Zephyr?
A few hours, maybe 6 or 7.
All right. So are you constantly having Ravioli cast invisibility? Because visibility is only concentration up to an hour.
Yeah, I know. I'll pretty much try Ravioli to stay out of his gaze.
Okay. Are you staying on alert, Zephyr, or are you just kind of absentmindedly playing?
Oh yeah, I'd be on alert just because I know.
Go ahead and make a perception check. Aster, go ahead and make a stealth check for Ravioli with advantage.
Okay, gotta go back to the Raven page. That'll be a D20 plus 2. 17. Wait.
17.
Wait.
I see a
why
4.
Did you roll it 3 times this time?
I don't know. So that's a 9. So 9, and then what's Ravioli stealth?
Oh, and I'd see a 4 as first.
Well, he gets advantage.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
I don't know why I rolled 3,
they would be contested.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So 9 plus
2, 11.
11. So he does. So contested. Zephyr, you kind of take your rounds and fly around. Ravioli manages to avoid your gaze.
Then I would just sit there and think and debating if I want to go right above the water level and just drop the thing down in the ocean. And I'll get back to you on that.
Okay. And during this time, we will go ahead and move on to Jordan. What would you, or to Nakax, what would you like to do?
Hold on, one question about that. How would he be able to see what's going on if I'm more than 100 yards from him?
Because he can. Well, it's less that he sees what's going on. Ravioli can still talk to him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The link only lasts for so long.
Oh, okay.
But but Ravioli can still talk to him through telepathic connection.
Oh, okay. I thought that was all within the 100-yard thing.
It's everybody has different rules about it. I like to think that you can only connect for so long, but because of the nature of the spell, that you're still able to contact your familiar.
All right. So as for Nakax, obviously it's starts off with every morning. I get whatever breakfast I can and attempt to go to the academy in whatever way possible. And I'm going to attempt to assist the head with whatever I can, whether it's retrieve books, whether it's to maybe help out with Ezekiel or Talon and helping them pass time. Just something that doesn't make me feel useless.
All right.
And that's just going to be a daily thing through the 2 weeks.
Okay.
While I do that, obviously I do pass by the store, and I will basically every morning stop and look at the door and think about the book inside and take a deep sigh and know that it's not going to be mine at all, and then continue on to finish the day.
Alrighty. So, in your time that you stay in the school, the headmaster does come up with little tasks for you if you inquire. However, for the most part, you're not working with him directly. Since he has some stuff that he needs, since he does have duties and responsibilities to take care of on his own, he's more sending you. He's basically making you a teacher's assistant. He'll send you to different classrooms and will basically tell you that if they ask you to complete a task, that just do what they're asking. The teachers quickly are informed to the situation, at least in the bare minimum detail that it can be presented. And they will give you a series of tasks that you are able to complete. Excuse me. Sorry, soda. For soda, getting to me. After about the fourth day, you enter into the headmaster's office to receive your tasks, and you see he is just finishing a conversation up with what appears to be a high-ranking individual of the city guard. After the doors open, they kind of look at you, and headmaster addresses you, saying, just a moment, Nakax. We were just finishing up." And he looks to the guard and he says, I'll have some of the staff depart, and we'll see what we can come up with. But I don't know what kind of resonance it left behind, or if there's even anything to find. But we'll do our best. And the man that you can see does appear to be a captain of sorts. His armor is much more decorated and more flared than the rest of the city guard that you've seen. Kind of has a goatee, a little gruff with patches of reddish hair. He has a pair of glasses on, as well as a small hole that seems to pierce through his nose. Rather sizable, maybe like a quarter of an inch, or maybe like half an inch, just right through his nostril. And he appears to be human, from what you can tell of him. bald to the head, and he responds as, "Very well, headmaster. We do appreciate your cooperation in this investigation." And the headmaster nods as the captain walks off.
I'll hold up a piece of paper that's simply a question mark toward the headmaster.
You will take the. You wrote onto it, or you just a folded piece of paper?
It is a. I'm sure that during this time, NACX has made a few things that are pre-prepared. One of them being a question mark to emphasize confusion as to the situation.
He sees this and says, well, the High Top district, the encounter that I'd heard about from you and your companions, some of the guard has begun an investigation of the area and have found faint magical traces seem to be resonating from this. And he pulls out what appears to be a very, very small fragment of the stone that you had seen that individual holding before he broke it against the ground. Coming from the stone, they'd asked me to dispatch some of the staff onto the location to further research into what kind of magic it is, as it doesn't seem to fully match up with any known school. I would like to.
I will actually approach the desk with a fresh piece of paper. I will try to make a copy of the gem, and then I guess, rough sketch of me. And then something that gets sucked out from me into the gem, and then I make a dragon.
Make a. I'm just going to call this a straight dexterity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, it's not the best drawing in the world, but you do, with a little bit of time, draw to the best of your ability what you believe happened. Hand it over to the headmaster, and as he looks, he says, "Interesting." And he kind of looks at the stone again and says, "The only kind of... So you're telling me that there was a dragon leached out of you, a spirit, I would presume?"
There is kind of a solid nod.
Well, there are gems that exist with that capacity that you've already stated. And then through my research, found that this is not any sort of... and he will explain. Gems that have the capacity to store a spirit beyond death are called soul gems. They tend to be used as a last resort, in a lot of cases used to imprison the spirit. However, even with that, most of these gems resonate a very strong aura of abjuration, and these do not resonate the same aura. That's quite strange. But I do thank you for the information. I'll see what I can... With that, I'll see if I can possibly link anything.
I once again hold up the question mark and attempt to cast Prestidigitation. Again, pointing to that picture.
Well, you did inform the headmaster before of the disconnect, and he did inform you that if somehow your lineage was snapped.
Right. I was just questioning. Yeah. In a way, I guess it was like questioning where it's possible that because it got sucked out of me, that's why I don't have my magic.
It is possible, yes. It definitely poses a much more solid theory to run off of.
Hey, look, it's Michael.
Hey, it's Michael.
That's Michael.
Hey!
Hey.
He's not speaking.
Yep,
He's not
30-minute breaks. They do exist.
30-minute break.
You're not missing a lot. We're just getting plot details.
I'm so sorry, Michael, that you got dicked over.
It is the fate of men to suffer and die. So what's going on? What a miss.
Well, right now we're still going through what everybody wants to do in the 2 weeks. We had a little bit of a romantic moment between Estriel and
The
Back
lock.
axe.
The lock. I got
Yeah, the lock.
you. Lock.
Yeah.
Neck swept off her feet. Yeah, totally follow.
The lock somehow made it back.
Literally swept off her feet. Like it was actually disturbing. It was scary. Like he didn't ask, he just grabbed her and just ran off with her. We don't know what happened.
Not like Sprinkles doesn't do that with Nakax.
And
Hey, if you're
and as of
insinuating a
right now-
romantic plotline, I'm in.
and as of right now, Nakax is currently speaking with the headmaster, who had just finished talking to what appeared to be a captain of the guard, and apparently there's an ongoing investigation of the High Top district for traces of the gemstone that you had seen the individual using. That when he broke it against the ground had released the spirit of this white dragon. However, the
I like
professor
how that's what the. I said I like how that's like this focus of the investigation, like all those murders that happened there. No, that's not
Well, it's
not
the
important.
focus-
But
well,
like
it's the
that
focus
gem.
of-
Uh-oh.
Well, it's the focus of the investigation to the academy, as their services are only really needed for the identification of magic or relations to magic. The rest of the investigation is being handled by the city guard.
I was just hoping that he had paid off the guard so well that even after death, they're like, "Now we ain't investigating. This is above our pay grade."
So the headmaster explains that as Nakax kind of drew him a picture to describe what happened, he explained that there were certain gems capable of housing or imprisoning spirits. However, whatever aura that they resonate with is usually an aura of abjuration, of some sort of protection or seal. And based on just the small fragments that the guard has been able to bring to him, he's seen that whatever resonance is coming off of the gem does not give the same kind of trait. So he's trying right now to figure out how he's trying to figure out basically what the gem is and how it was able to literally suck the soul of this dragon out of Nakax.
And is Nakax gonna go talk to him with like his voice?
No, he's been writing letters basically, as he's been in the
Good. That's
headmaster's
what I've been
office.
hoping for.
Yeah.
That's what I was hoping to hear. This is fantastic. I want to hear this plotline continue. Forget I'm here. Keep going.
All right, so yeah, he finishes up explaining basically what I just said, and he says, I'll do my best to get some information. On that note, Nakax, do you recall anything happening before or after you two were separated, like prior to you losing your magic? Perhaps it might lead to a bit more clues in both the investigation and us being able to help you.
There is a great amount of shame that goes through Nakax's face as he attempts to paint a picture of Sprinkles drowning a book on the floor and a picture of himself being absolutely angry and furious. Once again, with what should be the dragon behind him.
Well, that might lead a bit more to it. If this thing wasn't a soul gem, it's possible that in the moment where you'd become angry, it gave it enough presence to manifest that whatever. Then he pulls up the shard again. Whatever this is, was able to sever it from you. But again, I ask you don't lose hope. Well, I'm doing the research when I can. Talon and Ezekiel have undertaken it mostly. And I've asked a few of the professors if they've seen or even heard of anything like this, read anything about it, but unfortunately nothing's come up. I do apologize.
Nakax will nod and kind of gulp and wet his throat and try to straighten himself back up and make it seem like he's fine.
The headmaster at that point, after exchanging a few more words, will assign you to your task for the day, and once again send you off with kind of just a note of reassurance. He just says, "We'll get to the bottom of it. Don't worry." Is there anything else you would like to do over the course of the 2 weeks?
I did want to go ahead and also have Nakax during the night try to keep an ear open for any rumors or anything new that was coming out from the high tops, but I guess that's kind of what I got from that guard. Doesn't seem like there's a lot of hubbub about, I guess, any political movements or any gangs getting stirred up.
Right. Nothing that seems to. Yeah, from the brief conversation that you'd held, that you'd overheard, it doesn't seem like there's any violent rebellion going on or anything of the sort.
All right. You said that, or at least last session, it was a week and a half that the tailor that I spoke with would have rough design / something prepared. So at the
Yes.
very least, week and a half from now, I will do that.
Okay. So so as you make your way back, the small halfling woman will see you enter, and she will present you with this very decorative sketch that appears to almost look like a performer's cloak. It has a series of symbology, some of them, as you were specifying, a white dragon. Some of them, even you can see looking at this, she was a bit in discomfort from doing this, are emblazoned with symbols to the mother of chromatic dragons. And you can see that there's very fine line work that seems to almost intermingle different hues of different, more muted and more vibrant hues of white to still create enough of a contrast that it seems to pop with some sort of color.
I will excitedly nod at the sketch.
And he says, "All right, if that's what you want, uh, yeah, just give me another week, and I'll have it ready for you." It's gonna.
I'll hold up
gonna
the question. I'll hold the question mark, and then on a fresh piece of paper, I'll put up part of it. Hey,
Yeah. Um,
basically asking how much I owe her.
for a project like this, with all respect, and I do apologize, and she points to the symbol of Tiamat. She says, "I would, for my own morals, I'd have to say about 60 gold for this work. This isn't really something I feel comfortable with, but you seem desperate, and I don't want to."
I'm going to put down
turn away
75
customer.
gold pieces.
She looks at it in a little bit of surprise, but she kind of sighs. You see, like there's an aura of happiness to her, seeing like more gold than she asked for, but there's also that inner twinge of like, I'm literally creating a symbol to an evil deity, and I'm not comfortable with this. But she will say, "All right, like I said, just come back in a week, and I'll have it done for you." This is...
I will clasp both hands as a matter of thank you. Give as deep a bow as possibly as I can to this woman and leave her place.
You hear behind you, she just goes, "This is going to be a long week." All right.
I think to round out the last day of the 2 weeks, I am actually going to have Nakax summon up whatever courage he has to actually go into the magic shop.
Alrighty. So entering in, once again, you see the two figures, you guys have still not asked their names. They both address you as you enter, and the male of the two goes, "Ah, you return. What can I do for you?"
With whatever pages he had, with whatever he has, he writes down distinctly. I do not have enough money for the book, but what is enough to read a single page?
He would actually allow you to read a single page. He would not allow you to finish the book, as the nature of the enchantment is that you have to read the full book, but he will let you read a page.
He's just allowing it for free, or
Yeah, he'll let you read it. He basically as a preview of what to the enchantment of the book, but he will not let you read it in its entirety. Nor could you in the span of a few minutes.
Oh,
It's a pretty
one
hefty book.
Nakax, you should have 193 gold from the 17th.
the book in of itself, if I have my notes down correctly, is well over. Yeah, here it is, 7,800
Oh,
pieces.
Yeah, it's an expensive book.
Yeah. So, like, giving that. Number one, this is a book that Nakax wanted, both as this will actually supplement my magic, but it's also a book of maybe I could actually be comfortable in my own skin. But that's a far away. So Nakax will actually accept this deed. He will leave all 8 platinum that he has as a thank you for allowing him to read the page.
They will not reject. He will take it and put it into the hand. And the page that you are allowed to read, it appears to speak on, at least from what you can glean. It's almost like kind of what you were looking for, a self-help. It seems to reference, at least the midway, reference ways to be more sound in the projection of voice, and the fullness of presence that you display towards others. And you don't really glean too much out of it, as it's only really a page, but you can tell that the book is definitely what you have been looking for, and if you were to acquire it, would give you at least some idea of how to be more comfortable with yourself.
I just reread the page maybe once, twice, 3 times, and then reluctantly have to let it go.
The individual takes the book back, and he says, "Well, if there is anything else I can do for you, please do not hesitate." And he will take the book, handing it back to the female, who takes it, kind of wraps it in this very nice cloth, does a few motions over it. You see the cloth kind of almost seeming to be cleaning the book before it is set back on the shelf.
I'll merely nod and bow to the gentleman and raise my hand of goodbye to the female at the back, and as ridiculous as it sounds, also kind of to the book as well, and leave to finish out the rest of that day.
Alrighty. And last but certainly not least, Octa. Is there anything you would like to get done? I know you weren't here for the last session, but this kind of a small intermission between events. Is there anything Octa would like to get done in the span of 2 weeks?
He wants to try to kind of like find get to her father's main hub of operations to look for the paper trail about this deal with that guy.
Alrighty. Make me an
Also-
investigation check. So, rather quickly, as you start to kind of try to follow the trail that your father has left behind, you learn very quickly that the High Top District is currently under heavy investigation. Most people who enter are being monitored as they enter, and almost all of them are being walked with escort, as they really want to make sure nobody tampers with this investigation. You would have learned, however, through some of the through some of the less loyal contacts, and for a bit of coin, you would have learned that your father does have an estate located within the High Top District, towards the northwestern section of the city. And you learn the address. However, as you try to get to it, you learn just how heavily the guard is keeping this area under wraps.
Okay. I'm just trying to clear out some of my things from my dead dad's house. Can they give me some privacy? At a guard. Try to get them to back off so I can go into the house.
They do not allow you to... Well, first and foremost, if you're going to walk through the streets, there will be a guard constantly at your side, walking with you. And secondly, the guard will not allow you entry to any of the buildings, any at least of the private residence. You can go to any of the shops or restaurants in the district, in this district. However, any private residences are off limits, except to those who currently reside there.
My mom resides there. I reside there.
Make a deception check. So, the guard that you're walking with, you start kind of briefly explaining, as brief as you can be, this is your place of residence, and you kind of explain to him who your father was, without alluding too much.
I should definitely want to...
And the guard will eventually kind of give in and just say, oh, all right. If your mother's home and can verify this, then I will allow you entry.
Oh, shit. No idea.
So
She would know that her mother is not... Oh, would she know?
You would not. You have not been here in quite a while. And you didn't even know, your father didn't own a manor before he left.
Right, so
You have literally no idea.
Alright, she's gonna go up to that manor address then. She's just gonna knock and she's gonna see what happens.
Alright, so you give a pretty hearty tonk, 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 tonk. Kind of echoes for a moment before you hear the door unlock. And poking through appears to be someone dressed as a servant. However, the face is kind of cut up and scoffed. He looks definitely a bit more rugged than most servants, and he kind of peeks through and looks at you and goes, "Yeah."
Hi, I'm looking for my mom. I'm looking for
And you are?
Octa.
She ain't home. And he closes the door.
Turn to the guard, but see, I live here.
At which point the guard approaches and goes, all right, come on.
Alright, barely accepts and We'll get a complaint about this.
Yeah. Alrighty. But you do have an address, and you
Give up an address.
could try to get back here at a different time.
Oh, you bet you will. Gonna also want to check around to where she last remembered her family living.
Alrighty. So that would take you into the Blackworks. And as you make your way through, the guard seems to try to stop you for paperwork. But you notice that pretty quickly, as he starts to say something, another guard runs up and starts talking to him before sending him off towards the High District, both of them walking off together.
She walks in then.
You are granted entry. And as you kind of begin casing back to where you know your father and your brothers and you used to run out of, you begin kind of gently pressing down around the area. Go ahead and make an investigation check. Okay. You begin kind of making your way through a small network, a very small network of tunnels that you recall cuts off at a certain area. And as you're kind of working your way around, feeling around the walls, you start to recall a few of the areas where your father would have kept things hidden. And as you kind of begin looking for them, your hand meets one of the false stones that he had in this area. And as you pull it away, yeah. Well, this is less of a trap, more of just a hiding nook.
Okay.
You pull it away, and as you kind of look through, you see that it has been cleaned out completely. Making your way around the surrounding tunnels, you begin pulling away a few more of the false rocks, not really coming up with anything. However, as you kind of make your way into what qualified as your quote-unquote central base, you move away one final piece of sheetrock, or one final sheet of rock. Apologies, there's a difference. And you find what appears to be a small stack of papers. They seem to have been here for a while.
I take the papers and I check for traps. Check for traps.
Make an investigation check. Well, you rolled a 10, but that was still a natural 1.
Yeah, so.
They do not appear to be trapped.
Alright, then she would grab at it. She'd try to grab the papers.
Alright, you managed to get the papers up into your hands.
I look
and
at
as
it.
Yeah, you can read them. They are written in Infernal.
Okay.
And as you kind of begin working your way and reading through the papers, you initially you just see simple things that you already knew about, small heists that your father would run, locations that you guys used to frequent whenever you needed to get some quick coin, a few lists of some of his contacts at least a few of them that you knew about. Making your way through, you're not finding much of anything until you get to the last page. As your eyes kind of meet onto the last page, you begin reading it, and it begins talking about how your father and brothers have been doing some recon on a new individual who's been spotted in town. This man seems to be a man of great wealth, and is claiming that he came from the inner lands of the continent. However, your father quickly details he does not believe this in any way, but also states that if this man does have coin like he's flaunting, he could be a valuable asset. It continues to detail how over the course of the next week, your father sent small parties to monitor him, kind of keeping track of him as he made his way through the city. However, also details in most of the ending scout reports that they had lost vision on him as he made his way down one of the numerous alleys in the city. Then he was completely lost to sight.
Okay.
Eventually, as you kind of reach the bottom, the last paragraph just seems to be how he wants to try to establish a contact with him, and that he's going to try to press for it within the next few days.
There's no description about this individual at all anywhere in that document.
He does describe it a little bit in detail. However, he seems to be intentionally keeping things vague.
Any dates on these documents?
Make another investigation check.
That's better.
So, you can't really find any dates, and you would know as someone who has run with a business, putting a date on things typically leads to issues if anybody finds hidden paperwork. However, kind of taking in the shape that the papers are in, you put it to maybe about 3.5 weeks, 4 weeks.
Okay. Got it. She's gonna take the papers with her. She's gonna. Are there anywhere else to explore down there? Sure.
That's basically what you found with your investigation.
Okay.
That was taking the time and really trying to case at least what you remember there being in this area.
And he is going to try to go. Wants to try to find her mom.
All right, and we'll say that's going to be what you do for about the remainder of the few weeks. About the 13th day, NACX. Oh, is Jordan here? I see him muted. Oh, is Jordan here?
Yeah, I didn't want to disturb anything with me shuffling around.
So around the 13th day, NACX, as you were finishing up for the day, you begin making your way through the streets of the city and kind of watching as some of the people go by. Eventually, you see one person walking through the streets. This individual, much darker of skin, a bit more of an ostentatious outfit to him, walking with what appears to be a mastiff. However, this mastiff's skin and fur appears to be a much more vibrant purple and green as opposed to the normal furs of a mastiff. And as you're kind of making your way through, you overhear him talking to somebody. Just for a moment, you start to hear him referencing methods of projection and methods of seeing into the beyond. The other person kind of chuckles and shoves and disregards him, but the conversation continues. The individual just continues making his way down the street in conversation with this person, but it's just something you pick up on as this guy is making no attempt to really make it hidden.
Would this happen to have been the fortune teller from that one day?
It is not. This is a different individual.
Seeing into beyond. Could I follow them?
Sure. Would you like to be
terrible idea, but
would you like to be stealthy about it, or would you like to just approach them?
I would try not to be noticed.
All right. Go ahead and make a stealth check.
It's not going to go well. It's not bad.
Not bad at all. So as you kind of as you trail him for about an hour or two, you eventually find yourself making your way towards the Vulgar Cherry. And as they arrive, they kind of the two individuals kind of laugh. The darker skinned one puts a hand on his shoulder and kind of says a few words that you can't really hear over the crowd on the inside before patting him on the shoulder and going inside himself.
Okay. This is just during the night, normal routine.
Yeah,
Okay,
this is the nighttime.
all right. Then, uh, I suppose I'll go in as well. I'll try to act as if I have not been stalking this individual. That's
Alrighty.
yeah.
So entering into the Vulgar Cherry, the first thing that you realize is there are lavish tablecloths placed over each of the tables, which, from what you can see inside, this place comfortably suits about 90 people. You see there are chairs set up, some people enjoying what passes for more finer bar food, however, still bar food nonetheless. Some of them drinking wines, others drinking ales. And you can see just from a quick overview of this place that there appears to be much more of an air of uh, exuberance in this place and a much more pristine dress. You had been told before that the Vulgar Cherry, despite its name, does sell itself as a much more upscale establishment, and just from a quick glance of the interior, it does appear to be so. And you see the individual that you were trailing over to the bar, kind of say a few things to. What you can see is a half elven woman. Her hair kind of pulled back into a bun at the top, pulled back into a bun. Her dress is much more lavish and elegant. And after a few pleasantries are exchanged and a little giggle comes from her, she presents a half filled glass of wine to the man before he kind of gives her a wink, taking it and having a seat at one of the tables in the corner.
Hmm. I'm gonna try to play it cool and make it seem like I'm gonna go to the bar, but instead I'm actually going to stop and actually seem to catch notice of the mastiff.
So you're gonna just look at the mastiff.
Like I'm gonna act like I have a bit of an interest in mastiff, and I'm going to approach it. I'm gonna see if
So
I can't. Yeah, go ahead.
So as you approach, the individual kind of stirs his glass a little bit before taking a sip, setting it down. He says, "Yeah, you can never have too much of the finer things." And he kind of looks down at you and says, "Well, aren't you a bit out of place, my dragonborn friend? What can I do for you?"
I'm not gonna respond with him. Instead, I'm just gonna scritch the under chin of this mastiff.
Ah, I see you have taken notice of my little Chia here. And he kind of puts a hand down and starts scratching her as well. And you watch as the mastiff just seems to be like in love with just the attention.
I'm
And
gonna
he's
hold
like,
up the paper with the question mark on it.
ah, yes, yes. Many are curious about her. Please, have a seat. He kind of gives her a little pet, and you see as he kind of taps the table twice, the mastiff who now has a name, Chia, kind of peers up and just sits down. She seems rather well trained.
I'll actually brush off my vest for a little bit and give a polite nod, and a bow, and take a seat at this table.
And who might I have the pleasure of addressing?
I will take out my paper, and I will write down the name of Geralt Silverscale.
He takes it, reads it. Geralt Silverscale. Well, it is a pleasure. I My friend, I do apologize for asking, but are you? And you see, he kind of makes a like a cutthroat motion across his neck. Says, you do not have the ability to speak, or you don't like to speak, or
I'll write down on the paper, it is a matter of honor that I do not speak.
ah, yes, yes, we see many holy men that come around here. Well, you are curious about my chia, yes? You drink?
I'll think on it for a moment, and I'll give a slow nod.
He will just for a moment depart from the table, grabbing another glass and setting it down for you, and sits back down. My little girl here, she is more of a rare breed mastiff. Tell me, young man, have you ever heard of a world known as Feywild?
I'll only raise an eyebrow at that name.
Ah, not many have heard of it, so I can understand. See, I it is a plane that exists adjacent to ours. The area is vibrant with shades of colors and different hues that stretch across the lands and the trees. It's quite breathtaking. And I found my little girl out there when I was on a little bit of an excursion. She had apparently been left behind by some rather unsavory individuals that met their end in the plane, and it had a little bit of an effect on her. And as he motions down to her, the purples and green fur attached to her body, and I could not possibly part with that and see such an innocent creature just lost throughout these woods. So I approached her, offered some food, and took her home with me.
I'm gonna have Nakai scratch the underside of his chin for a moment, and if at all possible, he's gonna think on the flashback that he had. Does any of this odd colors and what he's describing seem familiar to what he's seen in that vision?
From the description that the individual is giving you, it does appear to be similar to what you'd seen. He seems to be giving at least some context to what you'd seen, kind of describing how these hues of greens, blues, purples, and reds seem to stretch across the vegetation and trees, and it is similar to what you had seen in your vision.
So that guy's actually gonna scratch at his chin and seem like he's thinking of something. Then he's gonna take out his paper and his fresh painter's kit, and he's going to try to skirch out what he assumes would have been the outside look of the castle that he had participated in.
Okay, make a dexterity check. Alrighty. You kind of take some time, and this individual kind of looks over. His hands kind of meet his chin as he curiously looks at the page.
I will go ahead and finish it, and then also put up the question mark next to it.
Oh yes, that is very similar. You are an artist.
I shake my head, and
Oh.
instead think about how to word this appropriately before writing down. My father was an illustrator.
So some of the talent has passed down. You could go somewhere with that. If you are not an artist already, I would highly suggest getting into it. This is very impressive.
Once again, I shake my head and write down. My brother is more talented than I.
No, do not let that stop you. Never let it stop me. But tell me about yourself. What brings you here? If you don't mind me saying, you look a bit young for a dragonborn. At least younger than the ones I've come across.
Nakak is going to try and rationalize what he's going to do next. And he's going to bring out Rudy Brass Spoon from his backpack and puts him on his hand.
Okay. He kind of looks at you curiously.
A good day to you, sir. I am Rudy Brassboom, the greatest magician across the plains. And this is my assistant, Nakax Gaborik. Apologies for having to lie in regards for exchange of names.
You seem kind of taken aback for a moment as you begin giving this ventriloquism display, and he goes, "Oh, no wonder you are not an artist. That is incredible."
Well, not many know, of course, our very kinship, great relationship. Obviously, I do request that you do not give out such trade secrets as, well, we tend to not let others
Your,
know.
your secret is safe with me.
Excellent.
But yes, please tell me. Was it Rudy? Rudy Brasspoon?
Rudy Brasspoon.
And you said Nakax was your name?
Yes, my assistant Nakax Kaburk. He is currently troubled for certain things, but that's not why he's here. He's here right now as of you had a special kind of interest about going across the different planes. It's clear that you had a story to tell, so obviously he followed. And even before that, to be here in this place, in this town, it was, well, much like a rather odd series of events, truth be told. How long do you have here, or are you interested in having a long tale told to you?
My friend, I'm going to be here for the remainder of the night. So please, anything that you would like to talk about? I'm always interested in hearing the stories of others.
Well, I certainly do hope that the tale that I give to you is probably just as well as the tales that perhaps you may have. Our adventure began at Viachi. Yeah, that's right. At
Yeah.
Viachi, where myself and my assistant, we were out looking for adventure to be one of the many that were told about in high tales of grandiose and greatness. And, well, we did find that in some regard. We've found friends that care about us.
Oh God, Emily. Action music everywhere.
Sorry about that.
No, it's fine. I just heard a lot of action music and I was like, oh God.
Sudden encounter.
Roll for initiative. No,
Oh, initiative.
Um,
But just as a note, Nakax, as you start talking about like the books, you actually see he gets a very big smile on his face. He seems like he's almost happy to hear somebody talking this way.
you see that, of course, my assistant's lifestyle has been always about these stories. His mother, I'm not sure, perhaps you've heard of her, or if any has at all, but Glazhael Geburg has written many tales that...
Wait. You're telling me that you are the son of Gaz of Miss Gaborik?
Well, the youngest out of the family, of course.
And you see he kind of leans back. Yes, I am aware. I pick up books from all over the place. And these things that catches my attention. Yes, I have read some of her works.
Ah, that's actually surprising. Truth be told, not a lot of information has come to myself or nor my assistant when we first left home. To hear that is actually very, very surprising.
I assume you're from the Dragon City, yes, Calvan?
Indeed. The
Yes,
family lineage that we have is complicated, and, well, it's not important as of right now, truthfully.
Oh, no, I do not mean to intrude. I've been to the city a few times. Got some pretty nasty looks, but people were willing to do business.
Well, I'm familiar with the looks that they give to certain individuals. But back on track. I do apologize.
Not at all.
I found myself with a group, and they were some of the strongest and most comforting individuals that I've ever met. Some died, some decided to separate paths, and of course, Viachi eventually was taken over. We were able to get onto a boat and make our way here, and well, for a while now, I suppose that we've kind of been stuck in this loophole up in the air where we have a goal in mind, but there's not really a destination.
So you are seeking something more extravagant? More, how shall we say, interesting?
It's not necessarily that. It's there have been plenty of things that have been exceptionally fascinating to me. For example, one individual in particular, she's a water genasi, and she found this book in one of the libraries at the Viachi's Magic Academy, and apparently when she read it, she saw visions of this other place, other time, other. It's difficult to really explain because that's all she could do with us, but to her it was very much real. The fact that she saw gods that apparently cast a fifth one down, and then the fifth one began to rise up, and supposedly that fifth one is going to be colliding with the material plane, or it was a lot of doom and gloom, and it was definitely off-put, especially for her.
Well, it's definitely an interesting story.
It certainly is. And as for that drawing in particular, uh, it's a vision that my assistant has went through. Not necessarily through the outside. I decided to try to do something different.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't want it to wait here.
yeah.
Okay. But no, he went through this. It's very hard to explain because even now, its memory is sometimes it's the clearest I've ever remembered, and other times it's foggy and far beyond me. But it's certainly that place that you were talking about, this Fey Wild, the ferns that were outside the window that he looked out to. They were pink and red and had all these other colors besides what would be natural. The very image that he was appropriating. I'm not sure if that's appropriate word, but he looked into a mirror and he was this rather fanciful elven woman, black hair, purple eyes, clearly a queen of some sort. But even then, if the Feywild is such that, do they have kings and queens there?
Uh, they have not had kings and queens for quite a while. There are elven cities within the Feywild. Some of them I have visited. Um, no, a lot of the current elven cities work within a council. However, there are respective rulers to each of the cities, but nothing like a monarchy.
Hmm.
Well, except for one of them, but last I heard, the last time I was there, it was in the process of being removed.
Really? Uh, tell me about this. It might be a clue to something. Maybe there's a reason why my assistant had seen this. Maybe that's where he needs to be.
My friend, I will do something better. I will tell you what I know, but you have to do something for me. Does that sound fair?
Well, I'm already here, so at the very least I can listen to your request.
You said you had companions, yes?
I do.
Well, I've been looking for some individuals who could undertake a little mission for me. You see, there is a barrier that separates our world from these outer realms, outer planes. And I wanted to see if I could get anybody to go there. Tell me if there is anything in the lines in between. I'm trying to make my next trip, much more extravagant than anything I have done, at least within the inner planes. Would you be interested?
You're asking me to go to what is essentially a door and making sure that everything is right with it?
It's less of a door, more of an ocean.
An ocean.
Yes, there is a. I don't. Well, you've never heard of the Feywild. I would not assume you would have heard of the Astral Sea.
Certainly not.
As I said, there is a barrier that one must cross to get to the outer planes, and even farther beyond from that. And it is a place that is mostly unexplored, and not many people know what exists there. So I propose, if you are willing to do a bit of mapping, we will say, for me, of this of a very specific area, then I will tell you what I know of the kingdoms in the Feywild. And if you do a good enough job, maybe I send you there myself, huh?
It's certainly an option. I will need to speak with them about if they would agree. Are you here for very long, or is there a way that I could get in contact with you after we've made an agreement?
I'll be in here. I'll be in here at night for the next few days. Just come find me. I'm usually back here, unless some asshole takes my table, at which case I'm pretty hard to miss.
Of course. And if you are not around at the very least, do you have a name that I could call out for?
Yes, and he extends his hand now, which you can see as he extends. He has a series of different bracelets and circlets that are around his hand, as well as a few rings. And as he extends and takes your hands, he says, "Most of the people around here just call me Zo. Zo Sundrand."
All right. Hopefully, I have that written down right in my notes.
It's I'll give you the name. It's Zo is Z. It's just Z-O.
Got that.
And then Sundran is Sundran.
Zundran. Okay.
Zo Sundran.
Absolutely. Nakax will accept the extended hand and shake it. With the only other free hand he has,
Yeah.
since
It's as you gripping his hand, it's a little uncomfortable just with the amount of different metals and gems that he has on his hand.
Well, absolutely. I'll see what everyone else agrees with, and I will get back in contact with you. It is it's certainly been an interesting evening with you, Mr. Zo.
As with you, Mr. Rudy and Nekax. I do hope to hear from you soon. And he goes ahead and finishes. He takes up his wine glass and finishes off the rest of it. And before he kind of pats the table 3 times, and you watch as Chia gets up on all of her legs and starts walking with him back to grab a drink.
Quite an interesting fellow. I will get up from the table and I'll head back to the Lying Stone, where I will spend the night. And if the group is awake, I will speak with them.
Alrighty. So this will be towards the end of the week. Who would be in the tavern at this time of night?
I would. I'd probably just be in my room, reading the book.
It depends where our bird dude is going for me.
Hey Zephyr.
I am going to be trying to build a nest.
All right. Are you being stealthy about this?
Yes, very.
Okay, make a stealth check. David, you could choose to roll, or
I use my nat 20.
all right. So you use your natural 20, and you learn whereabout are you building this nest, Zephyr?
Let's see. I figure we're down by the ocean, right?
Yes.
Is there any trees somewhere near this tavern that'd be up high enough?
Nothing super high. There are a few trees that stretch over the roof, and with enough time, you could find a small weaving of branches that could be sturdy enough.
I want it to be high enough that our little friend there is not just gonna climb up to the roof and jump on a branch. So I
Unfortunately, nothing
maybe
yeah.
maybe a couple buildings over.
Unfortunately, most of the trees, at least within the city, are trimmed to a certain length. There are a few that stretch maybe a few inches taller. However, nothing seems to be absorbently large. They
Okay.
seem to be taking care not to make them too big.
Okay, so at this point I'd be hovering outside of Esriel's room, trying to get her attention.
Okay.
Actually, what Octa, or as Emily said, if she's gonna be in the tavern, I'm gonna be there with her because I've been looking for her for a while, and if she's just there, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck?
All right. So, if you two would like to have a conversation, you may. While Nakax makes his way back to Limestone.
Would if you would, Octa.
I can hear the.
Yeah.
I can lower the volume if it's like super loud.
For some reason, I'm not hearing the music on my end. It's weird.
Do you have your master volume turned down all the way?
No, it's turned up. I'm all the way up.
Nah, dude.
Oh wait, nope, there it went. Never mind.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I don't even hear it.
Once again, check your volumes just in case, because it is playing. Let me try turning it up a bit more.
There it is.
Okay. But now it's like blaring on Luke's end. Luke, lower your volume.
Yeah, hang on. Stop. I usually just play it muted because
Yeah, just it's
if
fine.
I
You can play it
don't-
muted.
I've enjoyed this musical adventure so far.
Alrighty. So yeah, you and
It's
Octa.
okay now?
Yep, I can hear you guys. Yep, it's all good. You guys may have a conversation while you're waiting for Octa. Or while you're waiting for Nakax to return.
So, while I'm returning, while I was out looking for her, I'd just kind of be like, Octa, there you are. Are you alright? You've been missing for a while.
Kind of close up some loose ends. Takes big swig.
Alright. I walk closer and I order my milk. I turn back to her. Is everything okay?
Mom's MIA. I haven't been able to hear from anybody. I'm just trying to figure out what he could have possibly been doing. I got an address to a place he's doing his business in, but I can't come in. Some bullshit guard. Or bullshit servant. No. How you doing?
I never assumed you'd be one to talk to the guard about that sort of thing.
They have the high top on lock and key. Wouldn't leave me alone.
Couldn't even sneak away, I assume.
intense of trying to sneak there on my own. That's for sure. Whatever that duel was had something to do with Ezekiel. Trying to protect him. Time loops a threat.
The
Man,
stone.
I guess that too.
You asked me how I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
Doing very well, actually. You gotta kind of rub the back of her head. Something happened, which is good. One might want me to go into.
Give me the dirt. I've missed everybody.
Well, I went to talk to Natcax about this, maybe talking him out of going to find another dragon that would hopefully try and hurt him again. And you kind of shift around, looking a little nervous. I'm gonna lean forward and I'm gonna
Kiss Aksha, got it.
kiss me.
Oh shit. He did it.
Don't tell him I told you, but he did. And I didn't react well, I don't think. I mean, I was positive about it, but I didn't say anything about it.
Or the minute he's gonna want to talk about it, he's gonna talk about it.
Okay, that's... Alright, I'm glad to hear you're alright. Glad to see you're alright.
Well, too. Oh, that gag sitting in the tree.
Shush!
It's just a drink.
Alright. So, while this is happening, Zephyr, you were pecking away at Estriel's window, and Aster, you're able to keep tabs on it pretty well.
Didn't you know my second profession is professional bird watcher?
Hey.
Like at one point, as you guys are watching him, Ravioli begins to trying to say something, and you just kind of close his beak.
Oh, I'm with them now, or?
Zephyr's not staying too far from the tavern, so you're able to kind of keep tabs with him pretty well.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't think I was in the tavern.
No, I assume you're outside watching him.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, since I know she's not coming, I'm just gonna go perch up on the roof. So, I'm gonna pull the eye out. Is it hard? Is it soft? Is it malleable?
I mean, it's a stone. It's
oh,
solid.
it's a stone.
Yeah. Like it's a gemstone that is cut into. It's a shadowy gemstone that is cut in a way to look like an eye.
How big is it?
It's about a human palm size.
Okay.
Or rather, sorry, not human palm size. It's about the size of a standard eyeball.
Oh, so it's about an inch
But it's
round.
Yeah, it's not too big.
Okay. Do I see Aster?
Make a perception check. Aster, make a stealth check.
I used by 12 plus my dex. Ooh, actually, do I? Let's see here. Should I do it? That would be contested. Would that be contested? I'll roll it anyways.
Alright. You do have luck. Use that.
One second. I'll use luck.
Alright.
I will cancel his luck.
Yeah, you have to be able to see him. Or no, you can just say that he rerolls it.
Yep. And no, he won't even re-roll it because there, I like it.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, if he just contested, it'd be contested,
Yeah,
so
I
he'd stick
cancel.
with his 9.
Yeah. Oh, David got ganked by Mom. We can't see the result. So you would notice. You wouldn't notice Aster from your location. However, you would notice Ravioli.
Okay.
Just because with the perch that you have on the roof, like, and I would assume Aster's staying pretty close to the building, you would be able to spot the.
Okay, I'm gonna use my Slay of Hand and make it look like I ate the eye.
Roll sleight of hand. Oh, that was a shitty roll.
I know.
Like, that was a pretty shitty roll.
I know.
Jesus Christ. Alright, so for Ravioli, that's a perception check.
Ain't happening.
Nope. So yeah, so Aster, you watch the Ravioli as Zephyr just eats the eye.
A bird's gonna die.
At which point, Ravioli just kind of, he's aware he's been spotted, just kind of tilts his head at you, Zephyr. Ravioli.
I just look at him like I just ate the eye.
He gives you the look of like that point when like something knows you've made like a really bad decision, just giving you a look of why.
Then I just fly off.
Ravioli just watches you leave. Do you send him after Aster? Or because through what you saw, Zephyr just ate the eye, the gemstone eye that you were trying to chase him for.
1 second. How far away is he from?
From Ravioli?
No, from me.
Oh, from you? Well, he's up on the roof. You're on the ground level, so it would be about 40 feet, or about 30 feet, and then because he took off and flew, your fly speed is 50.
Yep.
So that'd be 38. If he ascended anymore, did you ascend at all, or did you just take off?
Oh, I would have just took off. I wouldn't even went up very high. I would have just took off and.
All right, so he's 30 feet up and 50 feet away.
So.
I'm gonna wait for him to be 100 feet, and then I cast Hypnotic Pattern.
Okay, Zephyr, make a Wisdom saving throw.
I give him the 12.
Zephyr, what's your Wisdom score?
My Wisdom score?
What's your Wisdom modifier?
Oh, 1.
So 13. Does that beat your DC?
No.
Okay.
So Zephyr,
I'll check.
Yeah, as you're flying, what do you make him see?
What do you mean?
Well, the hypnotic pattern is of something. So what does he see?
It is a twisting I thought it was just a twisting pattern of colors.
That's what I mean. Like what kind of like array are you doing, or are you just kind of going kaleidoscope mode?
Pretty much kaleidoscope mode.
So you kind of look off as you're flying away, Zephyr, gem still in hand or in bag, wherever you put it. And as you kind of look up into the sky, you start to see that, as opposed to the solid blues across the sky, you see this interweaving and changing shape and pattern of different colors that just seem to encapsulate your attention as you kind of just stare off into space and stop flapping and don't even glide as you begin kind of falling to the ground, completely incapacitated.
On, it looks like it only says on creatures. Oh,
The creature, latched on by the spell, the creature is incapacitated.
I
and has a
didn't
fly
see the
speed.
incapacitated part. I'd seen speed
Yeah.
of 0.
Yeah.
He will take damage.
Oh, I'm gonna
Yeah.
take.
So Aster, you know that the hypnotic pattern, as soon as he hits the ground, he's gonna be able to break them. Okay. So yeah, Zephyr's gonna.
Like how? Yeah. Like how far? Like
You're
I
about
would-
80 feet. You're about 80 feet from him because he was able to. Because he was already. Okay, no. Sorry. So he was 30 feet up and 50 feet away. So from you now, he's rapidly descending, about to slam into the ground. He's about 50 feet from you.
I'm gonna start running.
All right. So you move your 30 because if we're moving this in turn order because he can't just be falling forever.
Yeah.
So you run the 30, and
I'll
at that point, Zephyr, wham, hits the ground.
Yeah, and
That's
while
the
I'm
start.
running, I'm gonna cast invisibility 3rd level on. Actually,
On, how can you
I'm
cast
gonna choose
twice?
this. I calm down. I'm treating this like it's initiative. So basically, you've done your action for the round, which is casting hypnotic pattern on Zephyr. You have movement, which is the 30 that you've moved, and you also have a bonus action. But as in anything, you can only use a cantrip.
Yeah. I was assuming it was the second turn.
No. That was basically Zephyr's turn was flying away. What started initiative, which basically gave you the first quote unquote round of combat, was you casting the hypnotic pattern.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was assuming we were on the second round. Got it. I'll just keep running.
Yeah. Okay. So 30 feet, at which point, Zephyr, as you're taken in by these colors, 30 feet, it's smacking into the ground. You take 10 points of bludgeoning damage as your back smacks the hard concrete.
Okay. Alright.
However, as it hits, your eyes kind of wince at the pain, and as you look up, the all-encapsulating pattern of colors and shapes is gone.
Okay, I get up. And let's see, I'm gonna take back off. Up 20, and I am going to use my. What is it? I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna go up 30 feet again. I'm gonna
Alright, so you're up.
I'm gonna fly 20, then I'm gonna use dash and fly another 50 as cunning action.
Yep, you.
And I'm gonna go sort of in like a diagonal pattern over houses and stuff.
Okay. I'd assume you're just having ravioli tail.
Yeah.
Since technically ravioli works on a second initiative count.
Right.
What is a raven's fly speed, and can it even keep up? And how well can it keep up with a
Raven, I think it's only
I think it's
30 or
I think
40.
it's 40 actually. Isn't it?
I don't have
fly speed.
my.
50. No, 50.
Oh, wow.
Ravioli can actually keep up with you. So yeah, as you're flying, not trying to be quiet or anything, you would see Ravioli just flying after you.
It's okay.
Okay, so go back to Aster. What would you like to do?
I'm just gonna keep tailing him.
Let me see. You went up 30, 20. and
So
then
I would have
dashed
went
for-
70 feet.
No, that's what I'm saying. You went up 30, moved 20, and then dashed 50, 70. Moving in a diagonal pattern with Aster stuck on the ground. So, Aster, you would be losing him. Just
Oh, yeah.
because of how much more free of movement he is than you are. Ravioli can continue to tail him, but you on foot, because of the limitations that you're at right now, not being able to move rooftop to literally move rooftop to rooftop, it will get to a point that you can no longer follow him.
I'm going to use invisibility on Ravioli and tell him if he can, when the perfect opportunity happens. Oh wait, I wouldn't even know if he has the eye. So just keep
No,
watching.
from what you saw, he ate the eye.
Yeah,
So you know he has the eye in his stomach.
yeah. I'll just have him keep watching him.
All right. So as you're kind of flying off Zephyr, you watch as Ravioli like starts to descend a little bit, and you kind of smirk, and you watch as Ravioli just disappears from your vision.
Hold on, he can't use that because invisibility's touch.
You're right, and Raven and familiars are allowed to cast spells with a range of touch. Through
Oh.
through
That's
the
the
familiar.
only. That's
Oh,
the only
shit.
type of spell I'm allowed to cast.
Yeah.
through them.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so you completely lose sight of Ravioli.
It's okay. I'm gonna just keep flying for about another 2 hours. To the furthest end. Yep.
Okay. So we'll say over like an hour, over 2 hours, Ravioli just continues following because
He would have came off invisibility by then.
you
Yep.
can cast. You can, yeah. Did you just want to
And-
try?
Would I catch it?
Depend. Considering I might not be in range for it, probably
No.
not.
Well, you can make a stealth check for Ravioli if you want him to. If like as you know, like the spell is, he would know the spell is fading.
Yeah, I would make a stealth check.
Okay, so go ahead and make a perception check, Zephyr. And then Ravioli make a stealth
Nope.
check. Nope. Oh, well, maybe. If you're not ones. Nope. So yeah, you see Ravioli like you catch him as he just begins to try to dip into like the alleyways to stay unhidden, but you saw him.
Okay. And
So
I am going.
we'll say,
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say we're gonna say for the sake of brevity here, Aster wouldn't be able to keep up with Ravioli if Ravioli was trying to keep up with you. So eventually, Zephyr, you would be able to get it.
Okay. So I am gonna get back into town. And I'm gonna go find one of my contacts.
Unless you want, like, the only way that I would say it is if you could have Ravioli constantly following him if you want to. Because technically the familiar, as long as you give the familiar a command before it's out of range, it'll just continue to follow that order.
I did tell him to continue following, so
Okay. So Zephyr, make a stealth check. And Ravioli makes a perception check for Ravioli.
okay. Nope.
It's +3. So yeah.
Nope.
So yeah, eventually you'll lose him. You'll meet up with one of your contacts, at least one of the ones that weren't as attached to Malice.
Okay, would it be one that I trusted?
Not necessarily, but you know it's someone that doesn't. Not necessarily, but you know that it's somebody who didn't like Malice the same way you did.
Okay, that's not gonna be what I'd be looking for then.
So
I
that's the guy.
would be. Hold on, let's see.
You could try to contact the.
Is there any way that I would be able to get into where? What is that? What the hell is his name? The mage guy.
You're talking about.
I'm trying to find his name.
You're talking about Everon?
Yeah.
You could try.
Okay.
But that's gonna take you a while to. That's still gonna take you a while to fly there.
That's okay.
That was Nakax. You enter the building. Aster, you will be in about 10 rounds. So I'm keeping track of a minute. So Nakax, you enter the building and you see Octa and Estriel talking at the bar.
Realizing I've been running with Rudy in my hand for this long while, I'll enter the tavern, make that realization, and then put him back in the backpack.
Okay.
And then I'll go ahead and approach them.
Alrighty. So Nakax comes and slips with you guys. Yells.
Hello.
I'm not
Long
right.
time no see.
I'm not making a response this entire time. I'm writing on the paper, right next to them.
Where's Rudy?
I'm just intensely focused on making sure I get as much information out on this paper as possible.
Alright,
So,
it'll take you about
where's
3
Ruby?
sheets of paper to be detailed. But eventually Nekax finishes writing, and at that point, Aster, as he's finishing, you enter. He finished his writing that he had a conversation with an individual named Zoe. And Zoe stated that he needed some work to be done to help with a bit of recon and charting of a specific portion of the astral sea. He goes into detail basically of the whole conversation best that he can, and rounds it off and just gives you the paper explaining.
I talk about the very cute dog. I talk about the fact that I spoke about my memories of going through the Feywild as I did, and how apparently he knows about a single kingdom and how it may be tied to that vision, and maybe a clue to what's the next step for what we need to do.
Related to Ezekiel? And what Sprinkles is talking about?
I write down in the corner of the paper somewhere down there. I had a similar experience. It was with the transcript that Agathos gave me.
Okay. This is our next bet then.
We're going to the Feywild? I'm immediately going to pull out my journal and I'm going to make a new note that says Feywild on the top of a new page. Absolutely. Let's please.
I do make sure to note down, if we are going to do this, I will still need to be myself, or if I can't, you need to find someone that will accompany you.
And you're not coming with us? If... I mean, how is it not? We'd still like you to be there.
Ought to know that Nakax doesn't have powers. Question, because I would
you
miss
know
that.
You know
Okay.
that Nakax doesn't have magic. He explained it.
Okay, great. Just wanted to be sure.
Yeah.
I want you there.
Really, how many times do you get to explore the Feywilds?
I write down, I have no power, and therefore I'm a risk to you, and a risk to myself.
I'll respect your choice if you're serious about not going.
Well, alright.
I do write down, if I can get my power back, if at least have an answer within the next few days, then I'll be more than glad to accompany. However, if there is not an answer, or if there's not a direction that I can do, then I may be forced to stay behind.
Well, Nakax, you're also aware that he said that, and I'm assuming from the note, that he would like that his end of the bargain is that you would have to do a job for him. And that is that you have to chart a section of the astral sea for him.
Oh.
There was a stipulation to this. He said that he said if you do this job for him, he will in turn share what he knows. And if you do a good enough job, he might be willing to send you to the Feywild himself.
Okay, so I might have misinterpreted that.
Yeah, no, this is an exchange of knowledge. This is an exchange of information for labor.
Okay. So in that case, rewind, don't write those down.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, I'll write down, I'll accompany you to do this task, hopefully by then there will be an answer for me to get my power back. If I don't have any by that time, and there's a chance that we can go to the Feywild, then I have to make that choice when I get to it. But for now, let's talk about this astral sea. Number one, what is an astral sea?
Would I know anything about that?
Make a history check. So you've read a few things on the astral sea. You know that it is a place that exists almost as a barricade. There are certain planes of existence that are much more reachable within the material plane. Those being the Shadowfell, a dark reflection of the world, and the Feywild, a light reflection of the world. However, there are other planes that exist beyond that scope, and the astral sea is essentially a realm that exists between that area. That gives you, it's basically an empty space between that one must traverse to get to those outer planes. You also have heard a rumor that the astral sea is also the place that people go when they want to reach the realms of the gods themselves. And it's then with some races they've managed to make home there. However, in the things that you've read, there's no such mention as to what kinds of races. Just that some have managed to make a home there.
Alright, and I relay this information to the both of them.
And Aster, you are overhearing this conversation as you do enter, if you so choose.
Yeah, I'll just take a seat right next to him and just plop my head down on a table.
Tunk, 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 tunk.
What's up with him?
I write down number 2. What is under Aster's mask?
Aren't you
What
okay?
Do you show this to Aster?
This is all purpose.
All right,
What's on this
so
table right here?
so Aster he shows you a picture and says, "What is under Aster's mask?"
Oh, whatever's under, it's obviously a matter of importance to him, and maybe he doesn't want it to show.
Exactly as you
To
said.
myself.
For you, it's none of your concern.
I pull the page back. Number 3. If it is my concern, what is underneath Aster's mask?
That's just a little bit done right now. Just doesn't answer. It just puts his face back onto the table.
Why are you? Do I know about this big gem debacle or no?
You would know that something's been going on, and Aster's been trying to get something from Zephyr for a while now, and Zephyr continues to not allow him to. At which point, as your head kind of meets the table again, you guys all watch as Ravioli just perches on the back of Aster's head. Ravioli.
I know you're trying to cheer me up, Ravioli, but we spent an entire week looking for that bastard.
Ravioli. And you see Ravioli kind of jumps over Aster, and then with his whole body just kind of forces his head to the table. And you guys hear like, as he puts his head to the table.
I would have preferred to settle it with diplomacy, but
I pull the page back. Write down number 4. Do birds have feelings?
Ravioli looks up and he goes, Ravioli.
By Aster Florence a drink. Later.
So we'll say, for the sake of this, is there any other questions that are asked throughout the night?
And Zephyr, right? Not
Yes,
just
yeah.
because of the.
Essentially, the main question being posed right now is: are we all in agreement that we're going to do this, so that eventually there could be a chance we're all going to the astral plane?
I was doing it, but we need to stop being stupid.
I think for a moment. I write down number 5. If I can get Zephyr to stop being chased around by Aster, who's going to make Aster not jump him.
We come to a compromise with him. I swear I won't him. Don't worry about it.
I pull the page back, number 6. I vote Sprinkle jumps on him and just put it back up.
Yeah, and at this what you see Sprinkles, who you guys have been aware is in this bar, is she's pretty much recovering from her burn at this point. You see she's still moving a little stiffly, but she does appear to be recovering. And as you kind of say, to jump on, she goes, "Oh, don't worry, darling, I can do that for you. Don't you worry about it. He ain't getting away from Sprinkles, honey, I'll tell you that much."
I give Sprinkles a thumbs up. Personal
She-
thumbs up, not a prestidigitation thumbs up.
She gives you a thumbs up back, but you can see like on her shoulder it's still like a little stiff.
Uh-oh.
We lost Luke. Luke's back.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, LucasArts is back, guys. LucasArts is back.
Yeehaw. I think I cut up for a while. I did say I wanted to pet Ravioli.
Oh yeah, you give him a little pet. You give him a little pet at one point, and it's almost like a wind-up toy. As you're like petting his back, he'll just kind of click, 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 and eventually his feathers will kind of puff as he like. He doesn't want to like annoy Aster, but you can see like he's struggling to not just like lean into the pets.
Nice. As long as hopefully we'll get everything sorted out with you two. I kind of pointedly asked to Florence, and everything will be alright.
Just kind of sighs, still head on the table.
Alrighty. So, everyone's in agreement. You all find yourself to a night's rest. The morning comes to you. Zephyr, what would you have returned or to roost at some point?
Oh, I would have never went back there to roost. I would have found the roof on to roost up on top.
Okay.
Wherever I was. And then the next morning, I would have went to try to find out how to get into that Mage Academy.
Make investigation.
Double 14s.
Double 17s, you mean?
No, double 14s. I don't know why he keeps rolling twice.
Look, dude, it's because of your extension. You gotta
21.
stop with the extension.
It was even before the extension.
You will find somebody who allows you entry. It's not that hard to find. There are a bunch of staff and personnel around the grounds, and you will be allowed entry. Finding your way quickly to the headmaster's office. You give a quick little rap on the door. At which point, opening the door, you see one of the kids you'd seen before, kind of brownish hair, green eyes, in a school uniform, looks out. Hey.
Hey, how are you? Is the headmaster in?
He went to the, Come in. We just want to grab breakfast.
Okay, I need to speak to him immediately.
Yeah, no problem. And you see him kind of, he kind of pulls out a wire, a copper wire, puts it to his mouth and says something into it. Waits. Says something again. Okay, he said he'll be here in 5 minutes.
Okay.
5 minutes quickly pass, and you see the headmaster kind of still groggy in the early morning, sipping some coffee. He has a small breakfast bowl where it has like some rice, some eggs, and some meats in it.
Hello.
He introduces you. Good morning.
Good morning. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, not at all. He rubs his eye. What can I do for you?
Yeah, your guy that came out of here with the group, Aster?
Yes, Mr. Florence.
I'm guessing he came from here since he's comes back and forth,
no.
kind of?
No. Aster has been attending the academy for a while, but he's not from the area.
Okay. You know that black eye I had you look at? I pull it out.
Yes.
This one?
Yes. Yes.
He seems to be very, very obsessed with this.
Is that right?
Yes,
Do you know for what reason?
No, I have not gave it to him. He's tried to take it out of my bag here, and last night I was trying to get away from him, and he actually attacked me trying to get this thing. Because I made it seem like I ate it.
Well, he kind of chuckles a little bit and he says, well, I suppose if I was in the right mindset and somebody ate something that I was looking for, I'd be rightly ticked off. Well, he holds his hand up. May I take a look at it again?
Sorry, what was that?
He
Can't
just
knock
asks,
my stuff.
he just asks, may I take another look at it?
Yes, I pull it out from like a little side pouch of my armor, and I hand it to him.
He takes it and kind of gives it a look over. You see his eyes kind of flash again as he moves his hands over and says, That's very strange. As I said, there's no sort of enchantments or anything. At least nothing I can glean.
Do you need time with it? I could leave it with you. I would rather have it in hand somebody other than me.
Talon pipes up and says, I can take a look at it. I know you're busy, but I can watch it for you.
I'd rather know if it's something good, if it actually belongs to him, if it needs to be used by him. Because he never said anything about it, and I don't even think he knew that I had it until that day I showed you.
The headmaster kind of rolling the eye a bit in his fingers, just kind of examining every part of it, says, I suppose it's possible it could have just been something maybe that was stolen from him. I do apologize. I didn't know much about Mr. Florence. He kept a lot of his history to himself. I didn't want to press. Although I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility. Maybe that's why he's so adamant about it. Maybe it was something stolen from him. I don't know if you've picked up on it, but he does prefer to keep a lot to himself.
Yeah.
It is just quite possible that he wants to try to reclaim it with as few questions as possible. Without any real outside forces here, it's my best guess.
My only thing is, if it was stolen from him and he's seen it, why didn't he just ask for me right in front of you?
Well, again,
when I had him
said,
check it out. I don't know.
Well, again, it's that he may try to be... I know some people are very particular about certain things, and more the, as much as I don't want to insult him in any way, antisocial individuals don't really like to do things in the open. again, I'm going off of my best guess here.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you why he's so adamant on taking it, but it is possible he maybe just wanted it with the least amount of questions, and asking for it when you had given it to me could have posed or rather, him keeping it after it was handed over to him in a public place could arouse questions. Maybe he just wanted it on his own. I'm not sure, but it is definitely strange. If you would feel comfortable, I could hold on to it.
Yeah, I trust you.
Sure, he kind of just sets him on his desk for the moment and just goes, I'll see about a safe place for this.
Okay.
I would suggest maybe just...
I'll question him about it. If he says it actually belonged to him, and I'll send him back this way. But if I feel that he's deceiving me, I don't know where that thing went.
I understand. We'll hold on to it for the time, and I'll see if I can uncover anything additional. But with the investigation going on, as well as some of the classes have been having a bit of a maintenance issue as of late, there are other things I need to address. So I do apologize if I don't uncover anything.
Not a problem.
Oh,
well, thank you.
My pleasure. And he kind of gives a big hearty yawn.
Well, you have a good day, and I'm gonna go and see if me and him don't get another battle when I show up at the inn.
Alright. Well, take care of yourself, and I hope everything goes well with Mr. Florence.
Okay, thank you.
At which point, Talon kind of says, "Need some help getting down," or he cut. And you see him kind of like little sparkles come off of his fingers.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Alright. And he will take you back to the pad, and he will send you back down.
I'm assuming that NACAC's normal routine is still underway, so I think I'm still heading there in the mornings after breakfast.
Well, the rest of you awaken in the tavern, getting meals, paying for meals where you want them. Aster retreating to the upstairs to eat, quickly coming down after 5 minutes, which would never happen in David's reality.
That's a classic 2 hours right there.
Yeah. Oh, that wasn't a joke. David legitimately takes like 2 hours to eat dinner.
It's eat dinner, shower, and do everything else I need to do.
Yeah, it's a process.
Nice.
But anyway, you all convene in the tavern.
So we're all here, including Zephyr.
No, Zephyr didn't sleep there. He went to the academy.
Yeah, you guys haven't seen Zephyr for over a day now.
A while.
Let me go out and see if I can find him.
Alrighty.
Don't worry, I've seen him the most. I'm a professional bird watcher.
Why don't you come help me?
Fine, I'm searching for him anyways.
Alrighty.
I write down that I am still needing to work at the Magical Academy to at least do something, and we'll head in that direction.
Okay. Ezreal? Uh-oh, we lost Luke again.
Give it 5 seconds.
Oh, just so you know, I am taking like the roundabout over the ocean.
This is all of this is happening as you were making your way to the academy. It's still gonna take time.
Okay.
Hello?
Welcome back.
Thank you. I
How long
actually...
is it?
I'm going to ask Nakax if it would be alright if I accompany him to the magic place.
Oh, if that's happening, then when I see Talon, because he's letting me out, right? I'm gonna tell him I wasn't here. If any of them ask. If you don't mind.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So Nakax will head to the academy, and I'm sorry, what were you doing, Estro? Where are you going?
I actually wanted to ask Nakax if it was alright if I accompanied him.
Okay. Nakax, is it okay if Estro accompanies you?
I nod. I'll walk along with her.
All right. So you both make your way to the academy. By the time you get there, Zephyr will have left. Go ahead and Octa and Aster, make a investigation check. One of you with advantage, or you two can roll separately.
I'll do it with advantage, I guess.
You can want. I can do it, doesn't matter.
And 18.
19. So we'll say, like, as you guys take the better part of the day tracking Zephyr. Zephyr, make a stealth check.
I'm gonna use Burn a Luck.
All right. Alrighty. So you guys will eventually find Zephyr. Nakax and Esriel, you guys are put to work at the academy around this time. You're basically just doing odd jobs here and there. Nothing too extravagant or lavish. So as you guys are doing this, Aster and Octa, you guys watch as you're kind of coasting around, staying more towards the middle and dock side of town. You both catch Zephyr as he's just coming off of the ocean and making his way back into town.
Okay then. I'm gonna try and stealthily follow him.
Make stealth.
Following right behind.
Both of you make stealth checks. Zephyr, if you're keeping an eye out, make a perception check.
Get over here, you damn bird bastard.
Okay. So you don't see Octa, but you do see Aster following you.
Let's see.
Close in mind to him.
Let's see, what am I gonna do? I am gonna just dive bomb him.
So Aster, as you're kind of trying to stick to the more secluded and quiet areas, you're trailing Zephyr, and you're just like, yeah, he doesn't see me. I'm good. You watch as Zephyr does a complete 180 and dive bombs straight at you.
Mm-hmm.
I see him I just see him like a worm on the ground.
Yep. So yeah, Aster, Octa, you would see this too. Zephyr just fucking Looney Tunes style, like.
It seems the tables have turned. Good. Let's see how it is.
What are you doing?
Let's see. I know I'm looking here.
Cast sleep
On Zephyr?
to get him to stop.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll 8d6. Oh, sorry, 5d8.
Or sleep?
Yeah, sleep is 5d8.
God damn.
I think
5d8 for however many hit points that you may have. So.
Yeah.
Oh.
So Zephyr, as you're dive bombing, you see out from behind some of the barrels and boxes, Octa releases this plume of dust towards you, and as it kind of washes over you, you feel like your eyes start to sag for a moment, but that didn't come anywhere close to your max HP, so you kind of just shake your head and resist the effects.
I'm gonna pull out my rapier, and I'm going right into Aster.
I'm gonna hypnotic pattern him as he's like flying down.
Yeah, because you technically did get an action. So make a wisdom saving throw. Make a wisdom saving throw, Zephyr.
I'm re-rolling that bad boy. Spend another luck.
Alright.
Yep. I'm countering it.
So your luck is cancelled by Aster. And as you're kind of rapier out diving, you see Aster make a few hand motions, and that same kind of pattern appears before you, and all of a sudden you just feel your body go comatose again as you become enthralled with the
Okay,
things.
this one is gonna kill me when you roll these.
Yeah.
Because
I'm waiting for him to not to be kind of close to the ground.
Oh no, I was way up. I mean, I was like over 180 feet up.
Oh, I'm waiting for you to do it, essentially.
So in 6 seconds per round, it's been 12 seconds at I don't even know how fast that would be.
So it's a descent of 60 a second. So if you're 100 feet up, I would say because you did move towards him, you started moving, so you got 50 feet. So you're only going to take 50 feet of fall damage. So that's going to
I
be...
see him falling. Can I try to run to catch him?
You're not catching me.
6, 11, 15, 20 points of bludgeoning damage as head first you crack against the concrete. There's a bit of blood that comes out. However, as soon as you hit, your eyes fuzz for a second and you lose the pattern. But you fall about 15 or so feet away from Aster.
Hello there.
I get up. I am gonna hit him with that rapier.
Let's go ahead and let everybody roll initiative. Oh, PvP.
Hey, this shit again.
Bring it on, bird bastard.
Oh.
You know what? I'll roll initiative just for the hell of it.
And it would only be 3 of us because only 3 of us are anywhere near each other.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
I'm just rolling initiative just because.
So
Yes!
I told everybody. So.
Oh, I thought it was
Thank you, D4.
As he springs
Be away from all this shit and not being able to help.
As he springs up and pulls the rapier, you see he has the intent to go against you. What do you do?
Let's see here.
Okay, hang on. I don't want this music playing. We gotta switch music. So what'd you like to do? You have the first round.
I'm pretty peeved at him. Kinda wanna end this as peacefully as possible.
Okay. Magic missile, third level.
That was actually a thought. Gonna knock him unconscious. I'll do another hypnotic pattern.
Okay, Zephyr, make another wisdom saving throw.
Okay,
22.
save.
Yep, 22. You see Aster forming those same motions that you did before that giant wall of shapes and colors appeared, and you just look away, closing your eyes as you start to see the colors come back, but you are unaffected.
And I walk away 30 feet.
All right. And what would you like Ravioli to do on your turn?
Just kind of stay back from this.
Alrighty. At which point, Octa, you're up.
Octa is going to out her rapier for her movement to go to flank Aster. For we don't want to hurt you. We really just need to fucking talk to you. So can you put your fucking thing down?
Oh, fuck no. He started this.
We can have a conversation about that.
No.
Okay, if that's the case, she's just gonna attack him.
Okay, make an attack roll. Zephyr, does a 22 hit your armor class?
Yep, burning one last luck.
Alright, roll again. Oh, he can. So,
we are the best party. All the
yeah,
dudes
so what? So Zephyr, as you feel yourself, like for a moment, almost able to try to work the situation for a moment, Octa just
Hold on,
moves
so,
at you with
yeah.
lightning speed.
Hold on, he moved back 30, so she moved 30 to get behind him, to flank him.
No, not Aster. She was flanking you.
Yeah.
They are going against you, not... She has no interest in attacking Aster. She's attacking you.
Oh, I thought she said she flanked Aster.
No. She went around to get behind you.
Oh.
So 22, does that hit your armor class?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, go ahead and roll damage, Emily.
Sneak?
No, because you're not an assassin. You're not an assassin, so you don't get sneak attack. And you technically didn't have the drop on him either. He was fully aware of this combat.
I didn't know if flanking protocols.
So just straight rapier damage. 11. So through like the shoulder blade and out through the front, she just pierces into you and pulls the blade back.
It's fine.
Anything else, Octa?
That is it. I mean, my bonus action. For my bonus action, I'll dodge just in case he tries to attack, but I don't think that's what he's going to do.
So you pull the rapier back, and as you kind of look over your shoulder, Zephyr, you see her kind of bringing her wrist up and the rapier close to her, getting to more of a defensive position. Zephyr, you're up.
I'm gonna basically just lift myself off the ground and fly right towards him with the rapier out.
Towards
Aster.
Okay.
Yep.
Octa, you get an opportunity attack if you want to take it.
Oh, you bet I am.
Okay, go ahead.
And then we wonder
That
why do
hits.
people in our party want to leave.
That hits. Go ahead. Go and roll damage. You do not get sneak attack. 5 piercing damage. So you quickly kind of make a thrust with the rapier and manage to catch Zephyr in the hip and almost to his bone. But it's not enough to take him down. He's hurt, but it's not enough to take him down. Zephyr, you fly straight at Aster. Rapier drawn.
Fuck.
Roll a roll a D100.
I don't know why I rolled 3, so 11.
That's 3d10s.
No. That's
Dude.
a D10. I said a D100.
Oh, the D10s are a 100, aren't they?
Okay, so you want to call it a 92?
Yeah.
All right. Self-inflicted wound. Your attack ricochets back and hits you, and you hit yourself. Roll damage as if you would hit your target and apply it to yourself.
Oh, I'm dead.
So you watch Aster as he kind of flies back and goes in with the rapier. He goes to strike, and you watch as Ravioli from the side just kind of butts his head straight into his wrist, and that's just enough to get the blade to kind of swirl back, and it cuts across the jugular.
Okay, then.
And Zephyr just falls to the ground.
Walk over, and I take some rope.
Well, technically, we're still in initiative
crap.
because Zephyr's dying. Aster, what are you doing?
I'm fucking not giving him a health potion, but I'm gonna. Can I stabilize him with like a medicine check?
You can make a medicine check to try to stop his bleeding.
Does he have the kit?
He doesn't need a kit. All he needs to do is make a medicine check.
Really? I thought you needed the healer's kit. Or
The
whatever that
healer's
was
kit
called.
allows you to stabilize somebody and bring them up with HP.
Oh.
I'm gonna use the 14 for my portent.
Alright, so you quickly start ripping some of the clothing off of Zephyr, and you placing your hand over
There's
the wound.
not much clothing.
Oh, I doubt Aster's going to use any of his own clothing, so he's going to use whatever he can off of you.
I know, but I don't...
yeah.
Hold on, what do I even have on? I don't even know. Oh yeah, he'd be ripping studded leather. That's all I would add on.
Yeah, so he starts cutting chunks of the leather off of your armor, and uses it to make a makeshift bandage to stop the bleeding from your neck. So you're stabilized. Octa, you wanted to tie Zephyr up?
Take some rope and tying him up.
Okay, make a survival check with advantage. Alrighty. So, yeah, Zephyr, roll a d4 for when you wake up.
A D4?
A d4, yeah, it's 1d4 hours. 2. So Octa, you take some time. You go ahead and you kind of bind his arms together, bind his legs together, tie up his body before tying his wings back and like stiffening them. And yeah, so what would you guys like to do? You know that he does have the bag of holding on him.
I am going to check in the bag of holding.
There's 2 of them.
Wait, you bought... Oh yeah, you bought another one.
Yeah. So.
And they would not know that I have them both.
Yes, they would. You can't really
Would
hide a
see
bag
that
of
you
holding.
have both of them.
Inside a bag of holding.
I thought they canceled out.
Wait.
Oh, no.
No.
Wait. Shh. Everybody shush. Rick, you put a bag of holding into a bag of holding?
Can you do that?
You can. Did you do it? Shh, everybody? Did you do it?
No, I would have left one at my nest.
Rick, I
What?
want you to be honest. Would you have done it? Because you just said you had a bag of holding and a bag of holding.
I said, could I?
You can. You can put a bag of holding in a bag of holding. That's perfectly that's something you can do.
Let's see.
You can take a bag of holding and put it into a bag of holding. The bag of holding itself is not big enough to take up the surface area of another bag of holding.
No, I would have had one in my book bag. And I would have had the parties on me.
Okay, so you guys find... Well, then I'll ask the party. Do you
No,
guys...
I had
search
to... I had to look at my intelligence.
Alright. Well, Zephyr wouldn't really know the effects of putting a bag of holding in a bag of holding without an Arcana check.
Yeah, but I would have stated that a long time ago.
I'll say go ahead and make one now.
Shit.
Well, not intelligence save, intelligence check. Okay. You would know enough to know that it's not a good idea. But you don't know why the reason is? You just know it's not a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you guys...
Are there 2 bags or not?
Nope.
Well, you guys, I'm assuming, take everything off of Zephyr. Make an investigation check. Both, one of you at advantage, or both of you individually.
Soda?
It's 26.
On the advantage, yeah.
How's the meat?
So did you have a second bag of holding on you? Did you have a second bag
No.
of holding on you, Zephyr?
No, the other one was going to be back at my nest.
Okay. So yeah, you kind of pull everything out, you take the bag of holding, you take your party's bag of holding from him. Search through it, you don't find the eye on him. However, you do strip his weapons away and take everything from him.
clearly can't be trusted, so I put the bag of holding on myself.
Okay. Are you guys waiting for the 2 hours for Zephyr to wake up?
Ravioli to try to get everybody here, or we can drag him back to the tavern.
Probably drag him back.
Okay, we're gonna.
This should
Okay,
be
so
interesting.
You guys are dragging a tied up body through the streets?
We can carry him. Actually, I can't carry him.
Well, it's less carrying him and more you're pulling a tied up body through the streets.
Yeah,
Of a
so
man
the
who's clearly
inconspicuous
unconscious.
part of things.
I mean, like putting him over like our shoulder or something, but
Aster, with your investigation check, as you were patting him down, you would have noticed that as you were kind of moving your hands across his body and just kind of checking it, your finger snags, close to his hand, snags on what feels like leather, but you don't see anything there.
okay then.
You do anything?
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out.
Alright, you pull back, and as you pull, you see this invisible glove just removed from his hand, and it is this very deep black leather glove.
Do I know what it is?
Make an Arcana check.
Okay.
You have a vague idea. You know that the glove is enchanted in such a way that it allows whoever wears it to be much more dexterous with their fingers.
Okay.
Wouldn't the glove be on my hand?
It is. That's why I'm saying, like, as they were stripping you down, that's why I had to make an investigation check with a 26. And with a 26 and being thorough, he'd be able to inadvertently find your gloves of thievery. Had he rolled lower, like, I put that at like a very hard DC because the gloves of thievery in themselves are invisible. But because he rolled above a 25, he was able to find them.
Yay for being proficient in investigation.
Yeah.
And also, Rick, I was trying to avoid killing you at all costs.
He's unconscious. He's fine.
So you add to the bag. So go ahead and add to the bag of holding that you have gloves of thievery.
Thievery.
All right. So yeah, how are you guys getting Aster, or how are you guys getting Zephyr back to the tavern in the middle of the day?
How far are we from the tavern?
You're a pretty good walk from the Lying Stone.
I know that we have we have a while. Do you know what I mean? Like, would I know that he's out cold for a while, like enough to think that I could untie him a bit?
Yeah, you'd be able to tell that he's going to be out cold for a good amount of time.
For a while. So how about I take off some of the restraints and we just... He just got disease. Just passed out. Just needs just a night of drinking.
That should be fine, but if he tries anything, I don't know what else I can do.
Alrighty.
Don't untie him completely, just enough so it doesn't look looks
suspicious.
Okay. Go ahead and one of you make a deception check with advantage. Because even untied, carrying a limp body through the streets...
That's bleeding out of his neck.
Yeah, well, you're not bleeding. You have a makeshift bandage.
Yeah, but that would be leaking through. If they went anywhere in my neck, it's in the jugular. There isn't no way you're not getting a jugular, so it's leaking.
That's why I'm saying, like, make a deception check with advantage. Because there's two of you. If there's only one of you, just be a straight deception. So whichever one of you want to.
I'm not very good at it.
No, not so great either, but it's worth it. I feel like I came up with this terrible scheme, so we're gonna see how this goes.
Okay. So you catch the eye of quite a few individuals. And as you guys are about halfway to the lying stone, you would both catch that some of the individuals have begun speaking to the guard.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to you guys what you want to do.
Just not good at it. Then
I can third level invisibility to things.
Invisibility. Very useful for when you want to drag an unconscious corpse through the street.
Yeah, but like it's like I have only one spell slot left, and we're probably more than an hour away.
are we more than an hour away at this point?
You're
Halfway there.
You're about at the halfway point. You're about an hour away.
Okay, I'll invisibility third level. I mean, not invisibility third level.
No,
just
no, no,
second.
no, no. Well, from the halfway point, you're about 30 feet away. The people would have already seen Zephyr's corpse.
Okay then.
It's about a 2-hour walk.
I thought you said we were like really far away from it.
2 hours walking is really far away from it.
I assumed it was plus. That's why I didn't want to use invisibility yet.
It's fine.
It's fine, I guess.
Okay.
It's fine.
So yeah, what would you guys like to do as people are alerting the guard that there are two people, a tiefling and a masked individual, carrying an unconscious bird person? Man, this session really went somewhere else. I did not think this was how today was gonna go.
I kind of expected this is how today was gonna go.
I'm not having.
Is there a hospital nearby or like any place that can patch him up?
How would I know that?
Near to you, you'd probably be about a 30 or so minute walk.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask around and then just go towards the hospital area.
I would follow, yeah.
One of you make a persuasion roll.
You do it and I'm gonna give you a 14. I'm guessing your charisma is higher than mine.
What's your modifier?
A modifier?
No. I'm saying what's your modifier to persuasion, Octa?
1.
Okay. That's about the same. So it's kind of whatever at this point. So 15.
So 15?
Yep, total.
Okay. So the guard will trail you for a while as you are asking these questions. However, as you approach an office, they will kind of fall back a bit, but will still keep an eye on you as you enter. However, Zephyr is able to get, if you request it, he is able to get medical attention. Zephyr, you wake up with 7 HP in a hospital bed.
Okay, what do I say?
So as you kind of groggily wake up, you see that there is a woman next to you, or someone who appears to be a nurse, currently kind of finishing up. They've removed the makeshift bandages from your neck and have stop the bleeding completely. She looks like she's like a bit like exhausted from it.
Is she the only one in here?
I'd be in there if I'm allowed to be. I don't know if there's like HIPAA stuff here.
Octa would let you. Well, for the actual medical treatment, no. For the aftermath, yes. Which this would be the aftermath.
I'm gonna tell the nurse.
Right by the door.
I'm gonna sort of wave the nurse down to me, and I'm gonna whisper to her, "Get the guard."
She looks at you confused.
And I tell her again, "Get the guard."
She will leave and go. She's in a bit of a hurry, but she leaves with a bit of a hurry. She'll go get the guard. Make a stealth check. See how quietly you said that, and this will be Octa's passive perception.
Fuck.
It's 18.
Yeah, Octa, you heard him audibly whisper, "Get the guard."
Don't listen to him. He's just very.
So you know that he's just alerted the nurse to go and get the city guard.
Do I hear it too, or?
Are you in the room?
Yeah.
What's your passive?
11.
You can hear him.
After I spent so much time making sure you wouldn't die after attacking me, this is how you repay us?
I'm not saying nothing.
Ma'am, this.
Well, the nurse has already left. It's just the three of you. It's just the three of you in the room.
Stop?
Unless someone stopped the nurse. Yeah, unless someone stopped the nurse.
Could I? Is there a way that I could do it without it making seem like at all being threatening? Because I don't want it to come off as threatening.
Make a general charisma.
Oh, rip.
Okay. So you kind of, as she kind of goes to hurry, you just gently kind of put a hand on her shoulder, and you get her attention for the moment.
Flew down from the sky and attacked my friend here. I saw the whole thing, and that is why we're here now. And make sure he's received punishment. Whatever he said about getting the guards, you can, but it would be for him.
Okay, so this puts an interesting spin on this. So Zephyr, are you going to pipe up and try to contest what she's saying?
Is she still in the room?
Octa stopped the nurse long enough to tell her that you're the one that attacked them, and that if you getting the guard is for you.
Yep, I'm gonna be like, he attacked me yesterday, so I tried to get revenge, and they slit my throat. And they stole all my stuff.
Make a deception check, Zephyr. Oh, actually, no, it was Ravioli that did it. So make a persuasion check. Octa, also make a persuasion check. This is a contested persuasion check.
Fuck me.
So she reads from both of you. Oh, what's up, David?
Let's see. I don't think I can use luck for this. Never mind.
No. Yeah. I was gonna say you could have used Portent, but it's too late now.
No, I don't have any more dice.
No, okay.
Yeah.
So she seems to read truth in what both of you are saying, but she seems to be more on your side, Zephyr. And she's still gonna go get the guard. Like, she doesn't verbally say she believes one person over another. You just get the sense that you being the one who is injured, she seems to be kind of resonating with you a bit more. But she will go and retrieve the guard. What would you guys like to do? You guys, it is going to take a minute for the guard to get here. You guys can do something if you want to.
happy? Is this what you fucking wanted?
Hey, he attacked me first. So.
Oh, and you know, you don't fucking pull a rapier on people you're supposed to be friends with.
Hey, he doesn't attack me first.
Doesn't fucking matter. Because at this point, now the guard's on our asses. Because
Only your ass is not mine.
Bullshit. I don't want to fucking deal with them. Whatever squabble is happening between you two, I'll go over it. We have other shit we need to do.
You have all my shit, so that's thievery in a city.
We only have your stuff because we're afraid of you attacking us after you woke up. We willingly return it. We would willingly return it to you.
Oh, we might not ever get the chance because you called the fucking guard on us.
Then better figure it out quick before they get here. Did you hear me?
Yeah, so...
Okay, I wasn't sure if they heard me.
I know.
Oh,
She's
I heard it.
fuming. She's like so angry.
Are you guys doing anything? This is still time sensitive. At one point or another, you guys will run
Yeah,
out of time to
I
do
said
stuff.
you guys better figure it out quickly, and that's where I left it. None of my weapons have blood on them, only yours do.
Yours? No.
I didn't hit nobody. I didn't hit nobody besides my own.
You still technically slit your throat. Ravioli had you slit your throat with your own rapier, so your rapier does have blood on it. That's what the self-inflicted wound was. So your weapon does have blood on it. It's not their blood, but it's blood.
I'll say they used it against me.
Be deception when the guard gets here.
It's okay.
Yeah. At which point, if you guys are just fuming and having this conversation, the guard will enter. And it's about 4 of them. They will come in, pushing past you, but pushing everybody into the room. And one of them goes, all right. The nurse told us that there was a disturbance going on. Apparently, there was an attack. They look at everybody.
Yeah.
And they look at you, Zephyr. Would you like to, sir, what happened?
I look at those two, give them their chance.
I'm gonna wait for him to go first.
You wanted them here. Please tell your side of the story first.
Okay. This masked man right here attacked me yesterday. He's been following me for weeks. And here we are today. They dragged me in here to try to cover their own ass.
Well, the reason I followed you, because you took the bag of holding from one of our party members and just flew off with it and did your own things with our possessions.
Zephyr, make a persuasion check. Aster, make a deception check.
It is true, he actually did take it without...
Oh, I know, but was that the reason that you were following him?
No.
Nope.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
persuasion?
So, persuasion from you, Zephyr. Aster, deception. Ooh.
Oh.
So, as he says this out loud, the guard, you can see, like, they believe you, but they also believe Aster, and they just go, so they are, like, the other 3 guards, except for the one who's talking, the other 3 are, like, they are at the ready, weapons drawn, 1 guarding the door, 2 on either side of the room, like, in case this escalates.
They have all my gear, too. You can check them.
Aster, coming off of this sentence, they will say, the one talking will be, alright, well, be that as it may, I apologize for him stealing your things, but why did you not bring this to the attention of the guard? We could have handled this much more carefully.
Because last time I brought something to the guard, it never even been looked at.
Well, he wasn't asking you. He was asking.
Oh.
He was asking Aster.
Oh.
Well, I originally thought I would be able to solve this peacefully, but...
That was our intent this morning, but now we're here.
we took his weapons away from him so he wouldn't attack us if he
And
were to wake up.
And do you have the weapons on you?
And I
Yep. And we pulled him out of the bag of holding.
The
And
guard
my
kind of looks
glove.
at the-
Yep. And
Well, the guards kind of look at the bags. Well, they have both your gloves. The guards kind of look at the bag, and one calls over another one. He goes over and says, "May I see your bag?" Holding his hand out for the bag.
Yeah. I'm guessing Octa has it, doesn't he?
I do have it, and I would give it to them.
He takes it, pushes the bottom of the bag, and all of the contents of the bag of holding spew out. And the guards begin, and two of the guards begin kind of piecing it, pulling everything out, and grabbing everything. Aster, you notice that there is no eye among the contents.
Mm-hmm.
So they begin kind of doing it. They pull the rapier, your rapier, that has blood on it. They look at you both. They look at the two of you a bit concerned. Before kind of going through everything, they find the two gloves. Make an arcana check for them. Don't know what they are. They're just black gloves. Just kind of begin rifling the contents. Let's see what you guys had on here.
On, if they only unbind my hands, my legs are still bound, aren't they?
They unbound. No, they unbound you completely.
Oh.
You can move.
I thought they said they only unbound me enough where if I did wake up during that time, I wouldn't do anything. I couldn't get away.
Yes, but if you were taken to get medical attention, you kind of
They would have taken off the bandages.
Yeah, they would have taken off the bindings. So yeah, they'll look through, and the only thing they really find that is of note, they find like a bunch of healing potions. At which point, because they believe Aster, they look at you, knowing what healing potions are and the value of them. But also note that they took your weapon and put it into their own bag, which does not bode well for them.
Hold on, but didn't he just say that the bag belonged to them?
He did, yeah.
Okay.
Aster said that the bag that you stole their bag, and they took the bag of holding, flipped it inside out, and inside you guys had 7 regular healing potions and 2 greater healing potions, which a guard station has healing potions on hand for rare emergencies. So guards would understand the value of a potion of healing, and to have this much, it's not uncommon for a thief. It wouldn't be uncommon for a thief to try to get this to sell these off for them. Like, a potion of healing to a commoner is like a godsend. And they don't know that you have any abilities. They just know that they believe Aster that you stole it.
Okay.
So the guard, after a while of back and forth questioning, with each of you guys kind of telling your side of the story, eventually, even though they believe that you were the thief, they will side with you, Zephyr, in the sense that they believe that any form of vigilantism is not condoned, and that if this man did steal, rather than seeking him out, it should have been brought to the guard's attention. However, there is wrongdoing on both sides, so the compromise that they will come to is you can either pay a fine, and the fine will be paid both to the city and to the injured, or you can both serve jail time.
I'll pay the fine.
It's fine.
Okay. So basically, they will charge you for the time in the hospital, which will come out to about 45 gold, as well as an additional 100 gold, as well as an additional 120 gold to be paid towards the injured, and the same amount to be paid to the city. And this is the DM not wanting to run jail time.
Yeah.
I don't know who has that money because I don't.
That's the thing that they tell you. That's 240 gold for the reparations and to the city, and then an additional 40 gold for the hospital fees.
much is the other one? 240, 240?
That's 480.
It's 120. No, it's 120 to. It's 120 to the injured for reparations, and 120 to the city for violating the law, as well as an additional 40 gold spent for his time that he'll need to stay in the hospital.
I'll pay my 120 with 80 gold and 4 plat.
Okay. It takes a while, but they have to get a magistrate down here to resolve it. Not wanting to move the injured. However, a legal filing is made against you, and you guys are. Do you have enough to pay the fines?
Yeah.
No.
So the
I'll pay 160 to cover the last 40.
The magistrate will finish one side of the documentation, which states that legally binding, they will take your names. Do you give them your names, like actual names, or?
Yeah, I'll give him an actual name.
Yeah.
All right. He will. All right. And Octa, will you give your actual name? Yes. No. I'll ask them more.
Gonna give her real name.
All right. So basically the first formal document will state that the party of Aster and Octa have paid a sum of 120 gold in reparations for vigilantism to Zephyr, and they will ask you guys to sign. Zephyr, they will give you a pen and basically help you if you need it. They'll
Yes.
give you a ink, and you're able to sign.
I sign it.
Yeah.
I sort of just say, just put it in my beak and I'll sign.
They will do it and manage to do it with the. And as part of the agreement, all items belonging to the injured party Zephyr will be returned. The magistrate. The second form of the document is that 120 gold in reparations for vigilantism within the city is to be paid to the city of Corona. And then the final documentation is just the hospital bill. The hospital bill being paid off. So yeah. Zephyr, are you gonna stay in the hospital, or are you gonna try to leave?
I should have fireballed the bird.
Right inside the hospital? Perfect.
No. He said he should have fireballed the bird.
No, I'm just staying here.
Okay. So, Octa and Aster, you were both excused from the room. The magistrate not wanting you to stay anywhere near the injured for the time being.
Okay.
Then you guys are free to go about your day. Eventually, throughout the course of the day, and with everything going on, night begins to fall for Esriel and Nakax. Zephyr, at any point in time, you may get a long rest while recovering.
Okay. I would have did that as soon as they went out, so I'm guessing I should be healed by, what, middle of the night?
You'll be healed by about 8 bells past noon, so about 8 p.m.
Okay.
So, Esriel, Nakax, your jobs are relieved for the day. You are thanked for your work.
I'm gonna write to Esriel if she wants to come with me to speak with the gentleman.
Yes, of course.
All right. So I guess we're headed off to the Vulgar Cherry.
Okay. So so do you try to recover any of your other party members, or just you two?
I'm assuming that we're all okay, and since there's been no discussion about, hey, Zephyr needs to be here, I assumed that everything was squared away between him and Aster.
All right. So, are you gonna? Well, I'm just asking. Are you bringing anybody else with you, or are you just taking Esriel?
Well, I asked for Esriel. If Esriel thinks that other members want to come along, then that'll be up to her.
Oh, we don't want to miss them, do we? Miss the guy. I mean, aren't you saying that it should be fine if they go alone?
All right, then I guess we're not taking the other members. It's just gonna be me and Esriel on a night walk.
All right. Ooh, romantic. Ooh.
Nothing like that.
Oh. All right. So you guys make your way back to the Vulgar Chair, and for the first time, Esriel, as you're walking in, you see this very nice-looking interior with very fine tablecloths put over each of the tables. But contrast to the name, it is this very extravagant and lavish place. You quickly find Zoe, who, to give a better description, Zoe is a dark-skinned individual. He wears very ostentatious style clothing with a very large amount of flair, mostly pinks, purples, and blues to his dress. His hands are covered in these rings and circlets and bracelets that just kind of weave their way around, and possibly up into his sleeves, but you can't see. His hair is thinning a bit to the top. However, what is left of it is very well groomed. He has very nice hazel brown eyes, and as you enter, you can see he's at his normal spot, just enjoying a sip of wine. And for the first time, what you see, Esriel, is this purplish green mastiff that's currently just kind of panting and sitting at the side. You see his hand kind of go down and scratch the top of its head.
The zip lift from iMover will instantly turn any desk or table
I
into
would
a
actually
sit or stand convertible workstation. The gas lift mechanism
kind of
is
sort
the
of
quietest
approach
you
it
can
and
get.
nervously
No motor,
hold out a
no
hand.
clanky springs, and no clunky metal position.
Do you approach with her,
The zip lift's
Neka?
infinitely variable height adjustment
Yeah,
isn't
I do.
limited to certain preset
Alright,
styles,
so as
and it can
you
raise
both
your work
approach,
surface up
you
to a
see,
full 20 inches above
you
your
see
desk.
Zoe goes,
It also remains stable at
Well,
standing
my
height.
friends, you have
Keyboard
returned.
tray
My
tilts
friend
for
Neka
comfortable and
has
productive
returned.
typing.
And
The zip lift standing desk converter ships fully
company.
assembled and ready to go. And it even
I
includes
will
a
bring
18
out
by 24 iMover
Rudy again.
Evermat. For more information, visit ziplift.com.
Yes, of course, I did go ahead and bring about company. The rest of our group is apparently still discussing matters with themselves, but I figured, you'd at least get to meet one other individual of our party.
Well, that is very much appreciated. And what is your name, madam?
Hi
Well,
guys,
sir?
in this quick video,
My name is Esriel. It's nice to meet you, and you got a very interesting dog.
tutorial as
over
such,
here.
just something I
My
found
little
out
Tia, yes.
as I was playing with
If
the,
you can pet her if
the
you'd like,
MP3
she
that
is
I've
very
just gotten.
friendly.
I'm new to all this.
I'm still
but
kind of nervously
obviously
holding
I'm
out a
learning
hand to
bits and
this big
pieces as I
dog.
go,
They
and
kind of
having just
Sniffs your
recently
hand a
gotten
few times
nozzle
before it
plug,
just
which
licks your hand.
I narrowed down to thinking it was an assembly problem. I actually
Well,
narrowed it down
I suppose it's lucky I've got
fault
gloves on.
caused by myself, in that I'd remove the
Well,
PTA from the tube.
please
This is
sit.
the,
I'll get
the
us some drinks.
and the nozzle.
Um,
the
I
stainless
assume you
steel
come to
sits
discuss
on
what
the
we have
which sits
spoken about.
on this. And,
Of course,
and then the
I've
golden tube
went ahead
connector
and
goes
asked the
to
question
top
of
the PTA tube
those
and
that were there
down
for
through
last
this.
night,
puts
and it seemed
the
that
nozzle at the
we were
bottom.
in the
Now,
majority
when
of
removing the tube to check the
agreement
clip
that
and make sure that
your
it was
business
working
proposition
the way it
should be
should
big.
Ah,
I
that is
actually
wonderful.
not tightened,
Well,
not pushed it down
Miss
back in far
Esriel,
enough. So I've got some
I am
PLA stuck down
happy to
in
see
this
that
tube here. And I had
you
a big chunk of PLA
your
stuck in
neck
the
axe
nozzle,
and
cold
your
pull didn't work
companions
for me. And it's
have,
possible that cold pull didn't
been
work
so
because of that specific
eager,
problem.
I would hope,
But
to
I did find
do
it
this
tricky.
undertaking for
It
me,
seems
and I do
there
appreciate it.
seems to be a very narrow window.
Of
where
course,
the
I've
filament
never
is
seen the
sort of
Feywells
pliable
before.
enough
It's
to pull and
exciting to
stretch,
get to
which is where you want it for
Well,
the cold pull to work.
explore even a part of
where,
it.
and then where it goes too solid,
Well,
that's brittle, and just the
he looks at you
film
like this.
just
You
snaps off
informed
the
her
lid
to
that's stuck
the
in nozzle.
terms of the
Maybe that's just me in practice,
trip,
but
correct?
anyway, by the by,
Of course.
I believe I did.
after trying a few different
We're not
things,
necessarily
including a drill
off
bit,
to there
which I
just
wasn't
yet.
actually
We're
thinking it might go into
doing
soft
something with
brass,
the astral sea.
find-
No, I know, and that's exciting
the
too.
Bowden Tube
I
Connect
can't wait to
onto-
take a bunch
I'm
of
gonna
notes
show
on
you-
it. Sounds strange, but
Hi guys,
Well,
in this quick video,
just a few
I clamped the
minor
nozzle
things that I want
in a
to
pair
point
of
out
pliers
about
like
the
so,
Astral Sea.
so that I could hold that
In my studies of it,
obviously without,
a physical
without burning
body
myself. And then I heated
draws a
this
lot
up
of
using a
attention.
blowtorch. Now, a little turbo flame lighter, like
And
the little blowtorch lighters,
as
would do
such,
the
I
same job
have
because you're
come
only
up with
heating
more
a
of
small
a
area.
method for
I
you
just happen
to
to have
explore in a
blowtorch handy,
spiritual
like so I use that. And essentially, what you do is you heat it, and then stick
Spiritual?
your toothpick in, rotate it
Yes.
around, let it
The
cool
Astral
a
Sea
bit,
is
then
home
pull it
to
out,
many,
and you'll notice
many
it pulls out lumps
types
of
of spirits
filament
and
onto the
lost
toothpick, like
specters,
and
things
then
like
turn
that.
it around, do the same.
And
Discard
as said,
that, get yourself a fresh
the
cocktail
physical
stick. Just
body
keep doing
tends to
this,
draw a
and
lot of
eventually
attention
it will
from,
pull out all of the filament, and I've
how
managed
shall
to
we say,
completely
more
clear this entire nozzle
unsavory
using
things.
specifically
From what I have
using
read.
that method, so I was quite pleased with
I
that.
could send you
And,
that
I thought
in your
this might be
physical
a tip
bodies,
that might
but
help some of you others.
for
And
more of
obviously being
a
modern, it's not
safety
going to do any
precaution, I would
damage
prefer
internally
it
to
if
the
I could
nozzle,
send you
unlike a hardened steel drill bit, for example.
the other way.
So what I'm going to do now,
Okay.
before I reassemble
Is there
this, is do the
something
same with the
that
stainless tube.
we would need to
And
prepare for in order
because
to
I'd
make this happen?
inserted it wrong, I've got some
Oh,
PLA
you will
inside
just
the
have to leave
stainless
that to me,
tube
my
here.
friend.
So I'm going to
I
heat
have been
this
doing
up
much
and do
research
the
on
same
this.
thing
I've
with
just
the
been
toothpicks
waiting
until
for
I've cleared all that out.
some
So
individuals
to try and
to
reassemble
assist.
this, I'll need a little bit of thread lock on this. I
well,
noticed
what does that all
after taking
entail?
it out, it's very stiff to take out.
Well, I will
taking
begin.
it
He reaches off
out
to a
that,
side pouch, and you
it's,
see as
you'll see it's
you
quite
see he
loose
pulls
there.
out this
And
very
it had thread lock, so I
almost
just put a bit of thread lock on
translucent
there before I
looking
put it back in,
scroll.
and fit it in
Then as
so
he
that
pulls
I've
it open,
got a
you
little
see
bit
that
of wiggle room.
inside it
It's been
appears to
fitted from the
be
factory so
a
that the
very,
nozzle
very
buttered all the
unmarked
way
map of sorts.
right up
He
to
says,
the heat block, like
Since
so.
I will be sending you in
But
more
what I'm going
in
to do, just
with
to
such a
make sure
physical
I've got good
bodies, you will need
contact,
this
is,
specially enchanted map, and he
is
kind
set
of
it
allows
in
you
such a
to
way
take a close
that
look at
there's
it.
a little bit
It
of a
exists
gap
both within
between
our
the
world
nozzle
and
and the heat
the
block,
Astral Sea at
so
the
that
same
when I
time.
knit that up tightly, I know that that's buttered
Through
right up to
this,
the tube.
you will
And
be
I
able
can
to
make sure that I
make
push my
markings on it, and
PTFE
when you
tube
are
right the way
when you have
down,
finished
it's
your
buttoned
charting,
up with the nozzle,
once you
and
bring it back,
hopefully
it
that
will
should
manifest in a
prevent,
physical. It will fully
future
manifest
clogs
in a
of
physical
the
form,
same type.
giving me the ability
Little
to
tip,
have
although
the
I don't
map
know
that
how
I require.
useful it will be in this case because this is something that gets hot, but
So we
if you
use
don't have any
this to make
thread
your
lock
map.
laying around,
Yes.
it's the kind of thing I do because I
You
do,
kinda
I do
smirks.
mechanical things, as you know, if you watch my channel. But if you don't have any thread lock laying around, a little dab of
Well,
super glue will
does it
act as
write
a sort
like a
of thread
normal
lock. It's
paper?
it's not perfect, but it's
You
better
watch
than
as he
nothing
kind
at
of
all.
he
And I
watches
say
with a
the only thing
finger.
I'm
He
not
places
sure
it to the
about
map,
is how it will
and as he
affect
does so, as he
with
lifts
regards
his
to
finger
the
up,
heat,
there appears to be a
because
small
heat can
prick,
actually
almost
break
like
the
a
bond of
prick
super
on
glue,
his
so
finger,
so you
like a
have
small
to,
needle
be aware
protruding
of
out of
that,
his
but
finger.
obviously you'd be able
And
to
as
see
he
the
kind of
heat
makes a few
sink
marks on it, you
into
see it
the
writing in the
has
map.
come loose.
Once,
So,
and as he pulls his
I'm
hand
gonna
away
go
fully,
ahead, take this
out of about a 3
I'm
or
gonna
4
scoot
foot,
back
or
out
about
just
like
so
a
you
2
can
or
kind
3
of see
foot radius of it,
what's
the
going on,
needle
and I'm going
disappears.
to unclog this using the same method.
When anyone makes contact with this map, they become the instrument by which this map is able to be written. Only one person can write at it at a time, and it saves for not needing to have the same enchantment on a quill in ink, I'd tell you that much. Even this alone was not cheap.
Certainly.
So, if you would, if you are still interested, there is, possibly one other thing I should inform you about this, this place. Because you will be going in a more spiritual sense, the environment has a interesting interaction between our world and yours. There is a tether created between.
As you can see with the
the
blowtorch, you don't
users
need
that is here.
to
and they
have
use
it in the
as
flame very long at all.
deceit.
So as I say, one of those little jet
I have been told
burner cigarette lighters
that
would
this tether
likely
is
work every bit as
something
well.
that needs
But
to be
there you go, that's now absolutely
constantly
completely
washed.
clear of filament.
As if something
Just
were
turn that
to
off.
pluck this
And
tether,
the only important thing to remember now is
you
once you've
would
cleared it,
go,
don't go, look at that, that's
kaput.
nice, and then grab a hold of it. Wait until it cools down. So, as with anything potentially dangerous like naked flames and the like, take great care
understand completely.
and take the appropriate safety precautions. But
But
hopefully
of course,
this will
that is
be
just
of
rumors.
use to some of you 3D printing
I
guys.
said that
So thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.
If it does prove to be true, let me know.
I'd rather not sacrifice one of the members of our party for research purposes.
Oh, no, I do not mean it like that. I'm saying if something were to happen, and perhaps it says it was to get cut, you know, it's good research.
I still believe in, of course, getting to where we need to be, and if it means doing this job, then...
Hey everyone, my name is Tom Tullis.
I'm
This is
still
the Tomb
for
of
it,
3D
if
Printer
you're still
Horrors. Today
for
I'm going
it,
to show you how to change out the nozzle on your
Whoa, hang on.
3D printer. Now, even if you don't experience a clog, it's a good idea to change your nozzle periodically simply from
My
use.
magic got in my hand.
The nozzle is made of brass. That's a fairly soft metal, and the filaments we feed through these machines are an abrasive. That means they're going to erode that nozzle opening over time. As that nozzle opening enlarges, the tolerances are thrown off and your print quality will decrease. So, how often should you change your nozzle? That kind of depends what you're running through it. If you're just running PLA, PLA is not as abrasive as many of the filaments. So if it's just PLA, you should probably only change your nozzle maybe once a year. If you're running ABS or nylons or anything else that erode the nozzle at a faster rate, you may be changing them every 3 to 6 months. It just depends when you see that degradation in the quality of the prints. That's usually your sign to go ahead and change the nozzle. Now, in addition to that, I am going to show you how to change out the Bowden tube and the insulation on the Ender 3, the insulation that's around the heater block. I'm going to show you how to replace it with something a little more effective. So, as always, everything I talk about in these videos is linked in the description. Also, if you need help, if you have problems that you need troubleshooting on your printer, questions,
kicks his
you
heels
can post
back up
them in
onto
the
the
comments
table and he
here,
says, "You're
or
welcome
even
to stay
better,
and drink if you
join
want.
us over on Facebook
you're so
in our
inclined,
Dragonlock
unless you have,
Facebook group. We have
some place to
thousands
go.
of members with a lot of 3D
The
printer
only
experience.
place that we need to
We
go
have
is
people
back
posting
to
on there every day
where the
asking
rest
for
are,
assistance,
give
and
them
we
the
get you
information,
answers
and
right away. So again,
of course, make sure
that
that we
link
have
is in the description.
proper
Please
sleep before we
sign
head.
up for that group.
Absolutely.
I think
Right,
that about
I will
covers
see you
it. Let's
tomorrow,
get started
11
with
sharp.
changing nozzles out.
You won't forget.
Absolutely.
Okay, before we
Again,
get started, let's
thank you.
take a look at the parts of your hot
I
end,
will
talk a
head
little bit
out
about
with
what they
Ezreal.
do, and so
So,
you
what
understand
time
what
is
we're
it?
talking about as we go through this video.
By the time we're
Okay,
finished with
starting
this
at the bottom is your
conversation,
nozzle.
it's
That's the
about
part we're going to replace
it's not
today. Above
10
that,
p.m.
it screws into
Okay, I'm gonna be
the
out
heater
flying
block.
around.
This is the part of the hot end that is
Okay.
actually intended to be hot. Into it,
and
on
I'm
the
assuming
right
the rest of
side,
you
go two
have
sets
gone
of
back to the
wiring.
tavern.
One is for your thermistor,
Yep.
which is your temperature
If
sensor.
anyone's still awake,
The
I'll
other wiring
relay
is
the
for your
information.
heater
If not,
core, and that is
then
actually what's going to be
I'll wait
heating
until
up the
morning.
heater block. Now, immediately above that is
So
the
you
heat
guys go
line.
ahead
This
and
is
make
just
your way
a
back.
very thin piece
as you do
of
so,
tubing, and it's designed to transmit as
you
little
relay
heat as
the information
possible
to the two
up
individuals that are
away
there,
from the heater
Akka
block.
and
You
Aster.
don't want heat going up beyond the heater block because that can soften your filament,
After is drinking
cause
to
it to
get
reach
drunk.
its glass transition
I feel
point,
like-
which means it goes from being a total hard solid.
I will
to
say
having
that
some
when we do
flex
come
and play
in,
with it, and
even though
beginning to soften up.
Magex is doing,
What does that
trying
mean?
to do his
Well,
best to
when you
not
do
use
retractions, you could
This
actually
is-
stretch it. When you
Hang on a sec.
are feeding it, you can
The
actually
manager
cause it to compress
actually started watching the
outwards
stream, and
and
apparently
cause
there's
a
something
jam.
playing in the
So
background
heat
besides
traveling
us
up above.
talking.
Rick, have you been watching something?
Rick.
No. Everything's turned off.
Yeah, I can hear something.
Yeah, there's nothing on there.
Check your tabs.
I did.
I think I see that there's two things in Chrome open.
Yeah, but the other one is my sheet.
The manager actually started watching the stream and apparently there's something playing. Okay, he said it stopped, whatever it was.
Oh. Alright.
Yeah, cool.
What is that sound? What is the? What is
Wait,
that
is it
sound?
an
I
echo?
definitely hear something.
Oh, it sounded like someone else talking. I'm watching it on my phone muted, but when I raised the volume, yeah, some was playing, it sounded like.
Okay, no, never mind. We're good here.
It could have been when I set my headphones down next to the TV.
Oh, possibly, yeah.
Possible.
Also, there's been someone talking in the chat. I have not seen it. And I'm
Sorry.
sad.
We're not good at this.
Okay, cool.
Right.
Sorry,
So-
sir, I haven't seen it. If you've been talking.
So, back at it.
There's something about a heater block. Ah. Hey,
Yeah.
I can see someone I see someone talking now. Hooray. Alright. So.
Right, so back at it. With Rudy still out, I am going to be looking over at Aster and over at Octa and go, is our bird friend still here?
So just takes a big swig.
Sounds like, it looks like a good sign, doesn't it? What happened?
It seems that when I was trying to ask him about it, he dove down and tried to attack me, and we ensued in a battle where he lost, and as soon as we got to the hospital, he...
Snitched! She just yells.
Hang on. You put him in hospital?
What the fuck else are we supposed to? He was attacking us!
Well, you
He
could tell him
wants
to
it.
stop!
And,
But that doesn't mean you pull out your weapons and start a fight.
starts one first? Yeah, it does.
Alright, no, hold on a minute. Who started what?
He fucking flew down and dive bombed Aster.
Alright. Aster, what did you do?
I put him to sleep.
No,
Oh.
I don't think that's how it went at all. You said
No?
that you were trying to have a conversation with him, not put him to sleep.
No,
So,
no.
what
When
did
he
you
tried-
say?
I didn't get a word in because he was dive bombing me. So while he was dive bombing me, I decided to put him to sleep.
Do I believe him?
Make an insight check.
I mean, it is true. That's what I did.
Like, this is not true. I don't know.
You used hypnotic pattern. You weren't putting him to sleep.
It is.
Make a-
it is
And
putting.
so it does not put him to sleep. It makes him incapacitated.
Oh, I thought it was the same thing. Okay, you believe me anyways.
Yeah, I mean, Aster
You
seems
roll
to-
for it anyway. It could be a nat 1 too.
Maybe go ahead and make a deception, Aster.
Okay, I'll roll for it.
You know what? I'm gonna try for this as well. My sheet will load. There we go.
Right, we're spending on Aster's deception check.
Give me a sec.
So, Nakax, you
Yeah.
completely believe him. He's forthcoming. Esriel, he's omitting some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you were
And,
you put him to sleep while he was dive bombing you. Okay, but you do understand that dive bombing means he's going from the air. So if you put him to sleep, of course he's probably going to hit his face against the ground.
Uh-huh.
And
Uh-huh. And are there any other details you'd like to tell us, Aster Florence?
well, let's see here. We went in a scuffle. He tried attacking me again, and Ravioli put his rapier into his jugular, and well, that was kind of end of that.
Wait, so your bird actually tried to kill? What?
I wanted to knock it out of his hand. Ravioli was just trying to knock it out of his hand.
Ravioli at this point pipes up saying, "Kill for master! Kill for master!"
Ravioli! We were just trying to knock him out! We weren't trying to kill him!
Ravioli!
No, to let out. don't you think?
Gods. Out of all the times, okay. So, Aster, I'm gonna say this only once and once only. Do you have a way of contacting Zephyr in some way, shape, or form?
Well, he's in the hospital as far as I know.
Then that's where I'm off to, and you're coming with me.
Wait. I can contact him. Want me to say?
I don't want you contacting him. I want him to contact him. If Aster is so interested in having a conversation with Zephyr, and Zephyr needs to hear it, then Aster's going to say it.
Do you think there should be some sort of, so they don't try and kill each other again? And I throw another pointed glare toward Aster Florent.
You're looking at the mediator right here now.
Well, if he attacks me again,
Tried
then...
to mediate and it didn't work.
Well, you didn't try hard enough, now did you?
Finishes the rest of her drink and just storms off.
Listen, I'm sure there's only so much mediating you can do during what seemed to be an almost lethal fight, so...
Well, I did bandage up his throat to take him to the hospital, but...
So it means you want to do well, and for whatever reason, Zephyr believes that you're doing something that is not well to him. So, it's either I'm missing some information here, or you're purposely hiding information from me. So, question number 1, what did you do to Zephyr?
Well, I kinda did the same thing to him the previous day, when I saw him eating something that I needed.
That thing you were trying to take out of the bag.
Yes.
And he ate it.
What's that?
He ate a piece of food that you wanted? Is that what this conversation's all about?
It's not a piece of food.
Oh, really? Then what would he eat?
It's this crystal eye artifact. Can't put my hand.
So,
why do you want it so bad?
I honestly don't know.
Clearly, I get what you mean. He had something that was nice and shiny, and obviously you believe it to be arcane in some way, shape, or form. And of course, because he has it and you didn't, you decided to be a spoiled little child and try to actually get it from him. And he kept it away from your hand.
I'm gonna stand up like really fast and like slam my hands on. I am no child.
You're sure acting like one, Aster Florence.
Very well.
Putting a friend in hospital just over some trinket. Is that really how an adult would behave?
I wanted to mediate the situation before it escalated, but...
As it is right now, this situation has escalated because at 11 a.m. sharp, myself and Asriel, at the very least, have agreed to go into what we had agreed upon, had talked about last night. And of course, I wanted to go ahead and have this conversation with Zephyr as well, so that we'd have the whole group together. But obviously, we can't have that now, because one of us decided to think that taking someone out of the sky just because they ate a fancy rock was the great idea.
We also took our bag of holding that you threw down.
The bag of holding that my assistant decided to give had something that would help the group. And it was left behind for someone else to use. The reason I needed you, Aster, was to go ahead and get back to the academy to go with the children. I could not stay and help the rest of the group with what had happened there.
And
but that's neither here nor there.
Well, what happened when we reached the academy? The children were fine.
And if they weren't?
Well, why should it matter to me?
Sprinkle's not told you anything about what we have to deal with here, so I may as well welcome you. Welcome to the group that knows the end of the world is nigh. One of those children, in specific, the younger one, he is a key that is tied to what Sprinkle has often referred to as the fifth god. Supposedly, 5 gods at the very, very beginning of all things, not just material plane, not just Feywild, not just all these other places that have been. No, we're talking about the very creation of everything. 4 gods decided to throw down the 5th god, and the 5th god is now making his way back up, and somehow, some way, shape, or form, the youngest one is tied to him. How? We don't know. Why? We don't exactly know when.
And you honestly believe the ramblings of Sprinkles of all people?
Well, maybe I don't
It
necessarily...
wasn't because she made something up. She saw something. She had a vision. I'm gonna kind of glance over to Nakax, more like trying to, if he wants to go into his vision or not.
The reason why I believe that, of course, I discussed about doing this job and potentially having a chance to get into the Feywild is because I, too, have seen something similar. However, it is not in regards to perhaps an end-of-the-world conspiracy theory. However, I can't help but think that it's tied some way, shape, or form. It was a story, or at least a thing that I was physically a part of, that a queen in this far-off plane, the Feywild, had to exchange a kingdom for millions upon millions of lives. For what purpose? Again, I do not know. Why? When? Still uncertain. But it came from this, and I will show Agatha's transcript. And perhaps you, one of arcane nature, could also see the same things that I did. That in the lines of these words that speak plainly and boring about other texts, that there is an arcane enchantment hidden amongst the very ink itself.
I'll take a look at it. But you're saying that this group holds the key to the very universe itself.
We don't necessarily hold the key to the universe itself. At the very least, we're attempting to understand what's happening, how exactly we can handle the situation, and more often than not, making sure that at least one of those children stay alive, because if he dies, we very well may be looking at the end of the world. We don't hold a key, we just hold the door.
This has to be a joke. More so
Right.
with this party being the saviors of the world.
I assure you, we are being very serious. The 2 of us have had visions already, pertaining to whatever this is. Whatever this is, we need to...
But whether you believe it or not, that's up to you. If you don't want to talk with Zephyr, at the very least, I can speak with him.
No,
Astriel, please, go ahead and send a message for him. Tell him I'll be waiting at the harbor for Zephyr. And also make sure to let him also know Aster will not be there. Since apparently that's a deal breaker.
I'd be willing to speak with him if he's fine with it too.
Well, we're going to need to see how he feels about the matter. If you want to stay here up later tonight, then that is your choice. For now, I am off to the harbor.
Okay then.
Okay. So, Astral, you send your message.
asking what they wanted me to send, but let's see. You write something down.
We're checking for the 20-word limit.
Yeah. Shut this on.
Yeah, it's a 20-word limit. So, what do you say? So Nakax tells you to send a message to Zephyr saying he's going to be at the harbor. So, what do you say? I got the 20 words. I got the fingers.
You don't have 20 fingers.
Job to the Astral Sea is on. If
Okay.
Leave at 11 a.m.
Okay.
We'd love to have you, please.
You have 4 words left. If you want to use them.
Alright,
You can try speaking broken English. Speak like
You gotta think, I'm a bird, so, like, every few words it's like...
just gotta skip some words here and there and speak like a caveman.
Esther, Florence. Maybe. It's 4, right?
Wait, so did you say, so you said Aster Florence, maybe?
Maybe 1 word.
Okay. Aster Florence, maybe. You have 1 word.
Come. Or come.
And that's it. And that's it. The message is sent.
I would like to note that at no point did you not mention a harbor nor meeting Nakax, so that's gonna be fun.
So Zephyr, you hear this voice of Estriel that kind of wafts into your mind.
I'm all confused, looking around while I'm flying, like, what the?
So as soon as the message finishes, you have 20 words. What do you say?
Oh, I can respond?
Alright, that's 3.
No, I didn't know I could respond.
Yeah, you can respond with 20 words.
Zephyr pulls out his pager.
I assume the first 3 words are what the fuck?
Yeah.
Because you don't know what happened.
Yeah, literally, it's what the fuck?
Okay.
No. Aster and Octa both attacked me. Don't want nothing to do with them.
So I want nothing to do with them. Okay.
Send. What was that?
I was gonna say, and the message sends.
Oh, okay.
That was all 20 words. So, Estriel, as the message comes back to you, you hear it start with "what the fuck," and then a lot of "us." But you get the gist that he does not want anything to do with Octa or Aster.
As to Florence, we've had enough people leave this party as it is. Try and have another leaving. Try and make another leave. Clearly doesn't want anything to do with us.
So what time of the day would it, or what time of the night would it be right about now?
It's maybe about... It's nearing, like, midnight.
Okay.
Actually, because of the time it would have taken between the Vulgar Cherry and the Lying Stone, it's about 1 a.m.-ish.
Hold on. If they walked all the way from there, wouldn't they see me flying around, possibly?
Were you hiding?
No, I was just flying.
Ooh, okay, make a perception check, Estriel and Nagax.
Just out of curiosity.
Sorry, usually when you're flying, you're trying to be stealthy. That's why I was just like.
Oh no, I will specifically say if I'm stealthy or not. After I left the hospital, I was Just out flying around about 25 feet up. Just
Okay.
over top of buildings, maybe 10 feet above that, so.
So, you guys would have seen him at a glance, but in the given time, you wouldn't have exactly known about
Any of this.
any of the fighting that had gone down. So, the remainder of the night is spent with arguments.
I would have probably, let's say, I would have probably went over by somewhere close to the magical area to go talk to the headmaster again, if I could get
the
in.
The headmaster's not going to be there at 1 in the morning.
Oh, okay. No, I would have went over there, and that's where I would have posted up for the night for the early morning.
Yeah, because the school does close at some point. This is not a 24-hour establishment.
No, I wasn't sure if they would have been open after the 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
When I woke up from resting.
Well, we'll say for the sake of brevity here, so we don't have to retcon too many things. The rest of the night is spent with Aster and Aster having a bit of an argument. Aster kind of laying into him, mama style. Nakax waits at the harbor for a few hours in the cold near the ocean. No sign of Zephyr. Zephyr is...
While I'm waiting there at the harbor, is there that shrine to
Umberly? Yeah.
Umberly, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna go ahead and approach it.
Uh-huh.
I'm not necessarily gonna meditate or anything, but I'm just gonna stare at it and go. You know, your passionate problem is why I don't have my power anymore. And that's about it. I'll just turn and go back to the inn to sleep.
Okay. Alright. So eventually Nakax returns. Octa, drunken, in a room. Temper tantrum thrown. So as everybody finds themselves to sleep with the promise...
Actually, I would like to send one more message. Zephyr.
Mm-hmm.
My room, lying stone. Peace.
Okay. So, Zephyr, you hear that message in your mind as you're roosting up.
What the fuck, again?
Okay, again. Okay, that's four words.
I'll be on my way. If Aster's in there, I will be leaving. Or Octa.
We all have.
All right,
we all have
so
separate rooms? Or
yeah,
no?
yeah, you guys, you guys would have separate rooms. The lying stone's pretty big. So, the message is sent off. You hear it. Eventually, Zephyr, you begin making your way back. And as you arrive in Esriel's room, ready for conversation while the rest of the party is going to sleep with the promise of some new grand adventure into a plane that no one is truly familiar with. That's where we're going to go ahead and wrap up tonight's session. So yeah, roleplay heavy as it was, I hope everybody had fun tonight, and thank